Hail and well met. Welcome to episode 18 of the Westgate Irregulars, brought to you by the Dungeon Scrawlers. That's the fine, irascible folks around me right now. I am Eric Scott DeB, the campaign leader and DM of this particular campaign, and these are the Dungeon Scrawlers. Aaron, take it away.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Evans. I am the author of the Brimstone Angels saga. I am also going to tell you about our sponsor. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons & Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida and now Havilar from the Brimstone Angels saga. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and Web, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
I'm Rhiannon Held. I publish urban fantasy under the name Rhiannon Held, and then now space opera under the name RZ Held. And book 2 of my space opera novella series is now available. So check that out, or check out the first one called Clean Install.
Hi, I'm Yang Wang. I'm a filmmaker and a writer.
Hi, I'm Stephen Merlino. I write fantasy and also am a teacher. And right now, my first book, The Jack of Souls, is free on Kindle, iBook, all the various IE things.
Nice.
Which features like basically an arcane trickster or con man, right?
Oh, it does, actually, yeah.
How odd.
Hi, I'm Emily Tank. I'm a game designer at Wizards of the Coast. Disclaimer, all thoughts and opinions expressed in the stream are my own and do not represent Wizards of the Coast.
And hi, I'm Randy, and I'm an author.
Excellent. Thank you. This is our last session on GenConTV. We're going to our own channel, twitch.tv/the Dungeon Scrawlers. It's just Dungeon Scrawlers. There's no the. It's just Dungeon Scrawlers, one word. Twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers. Knew I'd flub it. Anyway, so our
Be only one.
our first episode on our new channel is going to be next week, and it's going to be a big one, as you will see throughout the course of this adventure. When last we left off, well, I'm going to let the recap happen, but basically what we're doing is we're prepping for the big launch of our new channel. So we're really hoping you'll come along with us and check it out. It'll be good. And with that, Rogar, take it away with Rogar's recap.
All right, I'll put on the wee cap for the recap. So, last time, basically, you know, we were recovering. We had fought our way out, and so we needed a long rest. And then we were kind of helping people because somebody collapsed the city. So we were helping, helping a bit with that. Managed to head off a gang war, and then went to Ilra, who gave us a quest, basically, well, on the lowdown to, like, deal with Lilton, apparently, because he's apparently a really powerful badass, and Cecilia was very happy to take that quest, I think. But and meanwhile, of course, we know that we pissed off the Night Masks, so they're probably coming for us.
What? No,
I know, right? So
I think they're scared of us.
I mean, it's like you can't kill somebody's leader and collapse their entire lair on their heads without any consequences whatsoever coming to you. Anyway, my printer's going off. Just ignore that. Anyway, what I wanted. So since we were so desperate for a rest the last couple of times, I thought I'd talk really quick. I was like, I wasn't exactly clear on all the rest stuff, so I thought I'd share a little bit of information about short and long rests. Why not? So, really quickly, a short rest is like 1 hour during which you just don't do anything more strenuous than eating or drinking or reading, that kind of thing, and you can roll hit dice and add your constitution modifier to regain hit points, which is cool, I guess. And then warlocks, of course, get all their spells back. They're super powerful. I wish we had one in our party, because that would be very cool. On a short rest, that's pretty sweet. Or a monk who get all their key points back. But anyway, and most people have to take a long rest to get their spells back, and except for sorcerers who have some way around that with sorcerer points or something. I don't know. They're in a frequent sorcerer spell shop or a club or something. I don't get it. But anyway, you can get your channel divinity back if you're a cleric. Short naps are pretty good. And there's a spell called Catnap. I didn't know this. That's a 3rd level spell that like you can cast it, and up to 3 people at your base level get like the full benefits of a short rest in just 10 minutes.
What?
Which would be, I know, it would be pretty powerful. Like, you know, it'd be pretty handy when you're like worn down and you just can carve out 10 minutes to like really quick recharge and heal your group. And so that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And you can take as many short rests as you want in a day. There's 24 hours in a day, I think, in Faerun. I don't know. So that's 24 short rests. Although, of course, if that you're a lazy sod, then no one's going to want you in their party if you're just resting all day. I mean, that's pretty useless. A long rest is 8 hours, but you only have to like really be sleeping for 6 of that, and then just kind of rest and chilling for like 2 of that. But and you regain all of your hit points, and you regain your hit dice that you spent up to like half your max. So if you use 6 hit dice and you only get 4 back, well, you're still down 2. So that sucks, but it's not bad. You can only take 1 long rest in a 24-hour period. So anyway, that's all like the boring, you know, statty stuff. But I did a bit of research, and I looked up activities that burn the same amount of calories as you know, or less than eating and drinking and reading. So the kinds of things you can do while you're just chilling in a short rest or a long rest. And so, you know, while Caleth is researching necromancy, or folks are reading the Westgate broadsheets, or whatever kind of reading you're doing, you can do also these other things. I mean, of course, you could paint minifigures or sort your dice in the order of good dice, who will get to stay in the nice case tonight, and those who betrayed you and shall be cast out into the cold and probably melted. Or you can listen to Stong's music or one of Sturge's puppet shows. You know, that's pretty passive. That's not bad. Also, I thought knitting and sewing. I can't believe we're not like doing more knitting and sewing in our group, because we've just got all this time where we're just chilling. And this is something you can do on a short rest or a long rest. I was thinking, you know, Artemisia could knit like a cute doggy sweater for Jigglewolf, or she'd probably just actually design it and have someone else do it. But, you know, Caleth could knit a nice horse blanket for Dumpling. Or I could totally see Sturge, who is very dexterous, like secretly knitting little booties for Mirabelle, and then like, you know, strongly denying that he ever did it if confronted, since he has to maintain his like, you know, tough underworld, you know, reputation and all. But you can do, oddly, chemistry lab work came up when I was looking at calorie count for activities. So, you know, I imagine if Sturge is sitting around, she can mix some potions, or Stong could make one of his strange, smelly swamp stews, you know, in the kitchen, as long as he's not chopping too vigorously or like lifting giant pots or anything. And you can like wrap presents was another activity that actually came up. So like, you know, the fabulous presents that Cecilia gave us way back when she first returned to Westgate. Oh, so beautifully wrapped in the torn red robes of dead necromancers. I believe there was like a lovely bone flute for Stong, and a necklace with a dragon claw pendant for her sister Artemisia, and a notebook with missing pages for Caleth, and a pair of dice with skulls for Sturge, which is pretty cool. And of course, I got a lovely bag of teeth. But, you know, obviously, those were very carefully and thoughtfully picked out, and not at all just scavenged off the dead bodies of her fallen enemies at last-minute bribes to create a sense of obligation and reciprocal debt in us, since she doesn't believe we could all possibly just be her friends because we like her for herself or something. No, not at all, no. So, anyway, wrapping presents, totally doable in a short or long rest. Killing red wizards and necromancers to get them, only if it's a long rest and you take less than 59 minutes to do so, because at least that's my interpretation. It says if you do any strenuous activity for at least an hour, it ruins your long rest. So I'm thinking if you do it at only 59 minutes, you're good. So, and which brings us to the last, of course, the most important, which is hanky panky, or, you know, getting it on until the break of dawn. Now, if we're talking about just keeping it at the light activity level, such as reading and tending wounds, then, you know, kissing, hugging, and spooning without, you know, any hanky-panky, that's all perfectly fine. As is sort of more passive participation, you know, if you're just basically laying there and, you know, enjoying the fine efforts of your partner. Now, again, long rest says it is interrupted by that hour of strenuous activity, so 59 minutes of strenuous lovemaking is fine on a long rest. Which is basically, you know, a decent quickie if you're Stong, or like 59 love-making sessions if you're Sturge. Oh, just kidding. You know, we all know you don't have naughty beds and you don't, like, you know, you don't get that sort of activity. But again, Sturge, you know, You don't need the naughty bits to benefit from human touch and sensuality. So, or the many other physical means of pleasure, my friends. So anytime you'd like some hands-off coaching or advice, I am here for you, my friend. Anyway, that's my understanding of short and long rest. I hope this was educational for you. And that's the Rogar's recap. Back to you, omniscient narrator god.
The moral of this story appears to be, if you want your rest, stay away from the high constitution character. Okay. So, in the last session, you had your discussion with Ilra, who said that you should allow the rumors to percolate and your fame to spread and lure the Night Mass into a trap. And so your minds are going around how to do that. And you're headed back to Briar House. And when you arrive at Briar House, you find something you did not expect, which is
Amazon package on the porch. Oh, no, sorry, go ahead.
Well, it is at the porch, but it is over the door, and it is the word, 2 words, in fact, written in blood over the door.
Well, of course.
That say, "The Fools."
Prestidigitate that.
Yeah,
Seriously?
right up.
Does anybody
Okay.
know what that could possibly mean?
I don't know. I don't know if we have any fools here.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. This is a taunt from the vampire lovers.
Oh, they are rookies.
Oh.
They are rookies. They don't know how to taunt.
You're
I
gonna go
got
leave a
taunt.
taunt for them.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
down in the sewers.
I'm gonna go in right away to check on the servants, though. Even still,
Okay.
Was it properly spelled? That would have been funny if it was like just spelled wrong. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It is
Oh.
properly spelled.
Oh, well.
THEFOOLS.
Okay.
Did they use
8 letters.
proper?
Did they add an
did they use
unnecessary
proper
punctuation?
punctuation?
Yeah.
You know, that would be very appropriate for serial killers, but no,
Oh, okay.
it did not
All
happen.
right.
Oh,
Varys greets you when you approach, and he sees all your faces with this expression of like reacting to the sight, and he's like, "Is something the matter?" And then he
did-
looks up. Oh dear.
you didn't hear that happen. You didn't hear people coming to the door, or
I did not. Charity comes out. And she says, "Oh, it's so good to see you." And she looks around. She's like,
Storm says, "Hello, Charity."
she's like, what?
Oh, it's all right. I usher her back into the house.
Okay.
It's just ketchup.
So
realms catch up.
someone said they were going to prestidigitate that off the wall.
Yeah, Artemisia.
Okay, you start doing that.
What does it hit?
Make a perception check while you do that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Pretty good. 18.
You realize that as you get close to, wave your magic hands over the blood letters, that the blood of each letter is slightly different in color.
Whoa.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's 5 letters? No, 5 plus 3. So 8
Eight.
letters?
8 letters.
So that might be 8
We're the
different
writer stream.
victims. Yeah, if you want math,
Stream,
go to
not the
math stream.
mathematician stream.
Not the counter stream.
Oh, man. But, yeah, so are there...
She's
Someone said-
gonna like.
We,
What?
we talk about story theory, not string theory. Okay, it's important.
She's gonna make sure that Charity like is out of earshot, and then she's gonna be like, "Guys, I think that this blood is from different people for different letters." Or, I mean, I'm assuming it's not from animals because like, so, but it's a different color. Look,
gross.
Is it still wet?
does it prestidigitate like it's still wet?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Mm.
Can we get samples of each of the different blood?
Well, you could, except that Artemisia started prestidigitating them away. I'll say that she just got one gone before she made this connection and you stopped her.
He fools.
Yeah, it just says he fools now.
Because it's not
Talking
our
about
problem
bow.
anymore.
It's just a band of a bunch of really, really dumb dudes. Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay.
Bo the pool boy.
Is this? Can your necro magic stuff figure this out? Where did these come from? I mean, I wouldn't rule out like this is 8 different rats because they wanted to make a point and they needed to do it fast. But it would be good to know.
Could ask Aiden. Aiden might have an idea.
Like
Can I
you,
roll a nature or investigation to try to figure out like how long it would take that sort of blood to dry? I want to try to figure out like how long ago it happened.
make a nature check.
Nature. It's a 20, dirty 20.
Okay. Generally within like an hour, it would be drier than this. So like wherever this blood came from, it must have been either taken within the last hour or preserved up until the last hour.
Dun, dun, dun. Westgate CSI.
So one of you has a passive perception of 18 or higher, right? Isn't that somebody
me.
has that?
Not
Not
I.
I.
No?
Maybe the
Oh,
dwarf.
I think it might be Rogar.
Something real
I
high,
think
though?
so. I have 17.
17.
very
17
wise.
is sufficient. Okay. So as they're looking into this blood thing, you hear sounds of cursing and moaning from somewhere nearby.
Is it unhappy cursing and moaning or very happy cursing and moaning?
It is
Like,
unhappy.
Outside
either
the
way,
house or
you're going.
inside the house?
Like outside the house.
Oh,
Okay.
Did they just kill all our neighbors?
Oh, okay. I will. I'll say. I think I hear
Ignore.
something, and I'll say, Charity, go to your room. Does she live here? Or is she a
She-
servant?
Well, she's a servant.
She's
so
not
she's-
She
serving.
has a
lives here.
servant's room.
She gets
Okay.
bored.
I said, Charity, go to your room, lock yourself in,
Room.
and I'll head out to investigate the noise after alerting the other state.
I'll go.
Varys reassures you that he will watch over Charity.
Oh, good.
Excellent. All right, so I exit the house and walk around the path to around the side of the house, I guess, towards the mysterious
Okay.
rose garden.
Artemisia, you realize that you have not seen Bo anywhere.
Oh no!
Oh no.
No!
Well,
Well, that's
All
Ro-
right,
Ro-
so Rogar, you're headed over down the street, not too far away.
Okay.
You see like bits of wood on the sidewalk, basically, of the street. It's very late at night, so there aren't really a lot of people around.
Okay.
It looks like something slammed into a nearby building and then careened into the alley. Okay, Artemisia,
Mm.
what are you doing? You were starting to speak. I didn't want to cut
Yeah.
over you.
She was going to go into the house to like check the kitchen and like the usual places Bo would be.
Mhm. You start looking around. Okay,
I
you
have a
don't find
bad,
him anywhere.
I was afraid of that.
Okay, Rogar.
I have a bad feeling. So Sturge is following me, right? I noticed Sturge is following me.
Okay, so
So-
Rogar and Sturge.
Right. So I have a bad feeling. I mean, who goes into an alley like when there's trouble? So I turn to him and I give him some guidance. I say, you're probably a better scout than I am here. Let me offer Sharindlar's guidance, and so you can add a die 4 to your like ability check.
Okay.
And if you want to like,
Thank you.
So-
Is it dark, this alley?
Yes,
Okay.
dark as the grave.
Does it smell like urine?
Sorry.
It does, in fact.
Well, of course, it's an alley.
It's a
so-
in
Westgate
the
alley.
city.
It smells like urine and blood, and you hear somebody moaning from inside.
And
That's on
money
brand.
because it's Westgate. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So what I mean is, am I going to be blind in this alley, or is there enough light?
Do you have dark vision?
No.
Then you cannot see into the alley.
I'm going to do a create bonfire in the mouth of the alley.
Of course you are. Okay. All right.
Wait, you have the torch. You have the ever-burning torch.
Yeah. The broken arm.
Or you can create a
arm. We
bonfire,
broke it up
whatever
to
you
the-
want to do.
I like bonfires.
All right, cool. You create a bonfire, and okay. So
Can
we're
we
gonna
see
be
the-
There's other
Can we
looking
see the
around the
bonfire?
house.
Sorry, can we see the bonfire from the porch of the house?
Yes, it is quite large and draws some attention.
Oh, there's Sturge again.
Artemisia, you're looking around, increasingly agitated. and you realize that the back door is slightly ajar.
Well, she's going to go straight there and see if she can pick up a trail. She doesn't have any
Okay.
like skill at that, but she'll try.
All right. You head out and thinking that you're just going to see Bo out in the garden, and but you see no one, and you're standing there looking around. Okay, back in the alley, Rogar and Sturge, you see that a cart or a carriage has crashed, and it seems to have hit somebody and crushed them up against the wall. And this person is moving slightly, as in they're still alive, but like the most of their legs are crushed by this carriage.
I rush over to like keeping an eye out for danger. I rush over to like offer healing.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if now. Are you saying that the wheels are on the legs?
No, the
okay.
carriage like hit the person.
Like
Carriage
the
is
body
not so
of the
much a
cart.
carriage anymore.
Okay.
Right. It's mostly just a wreck.
And there's horses standing there?
There are two very dead horses. Their heads have been chopped off, in fact.
What?
Oh,
I
That's
mean,
two of the letters.
I can believe it was an accident until then.
And the
Oh,
person that
It's a good
is
way to
crushed
get
against the
carriage
wall
crash.
is wearing some kind of like plant. You realize that it's a crown made of brambles.
Uh-oh.
This is a
Mhm.
scary
Alright.
episode so far. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and when you go up to heal this person, you recognize her, and it is in fact Nala.
No,
Oh, no.
Well,
Right.
stop.
And at that same moment,
Oh.
Artemisia, something drips on your forehead,
Oh my gosh.
and you look up and see the staring eyes of Bo hanging over you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Just his eyes?
No.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
The whole body, but the glassy dead eyes of Bo staring down at you. And on that note, I will unveil the name of the episode, which is Death Flags.
Flags.
Great.
Well,
So-
I mean,
Okey-doke.
they're already
That's
dead.
the right
so-
music for it, Randy.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my
Great.
god.
We can skip forward. Yeah, you didn't know it was going to be a horror episode, did you? All right, we can skip forward a little bit to the morning.
The
Okay.
killer
Like
is
all
still
these
in the
Evan
Briar
vampires?
House.
Nala has survived her accident, which is clearly not an accident,
Oh man.
but her legs are basically destroyed, and she is lying there unconscious and fitful, but still alive. And I guess you probably are healing her at Briar House. It's not like there's a hospital in Westgate.
If I
Oh.
stabilized her, then yeah, move her to Briar House.
Okay.
And for those who don't remember, Nala is Stone.
Yeah, Nala is Stong's roommate. Also, they take care of each other's kids and they're
Yeah, like parent
really
buddy.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nala.
Is
I remember
someone
that
watching your kids?
I was gonna go get Nala's kids in a bit, but the last thing I remember was that she was gonna go and spend the evening fighting at the arena. So
So
the kids
who's
weren't with
watching your
her.
Kids?
We have other neighbors. Or Mirren.
It's a house full of babysitters.
It
I
takes
love
a
that
village.
idea.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that idea.
Yeah, we all help each other out when we're poor.
Okay, I'll drop my kids off at your house later. Anyway, back to the
Bo, unfortunately, is not alive. So
Okay.
So I think the first thing Stong would do is actually just go and fetch the kids. So he's probably away.
okay. So Stong's not there that morning. He's finding the kids and taking care of them. I mean, they're still basically at your tall house. So like and it's probably better not to show them.
Oh
to
yeah, I'm
their
definitely not bringing them to
injured
the Briar
mother
House.
just at the moment.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right.
Are we burying?
Lady Kiko's fine?
I can check on Lady Kiko for you if you
I'm
message
going with
me.
you. I'm
Okay.
going with
Me.
you.
Apparently, we all need to check on our loved ones.
Thank God I don't have any.
Wait, where's Jake?
Wait. Oh,
Where's Dumpling?
All right. You
No!
check on. Look, I'm not going to kill the horse. I'm not going to kill the dog. You can.
2 horses. What's a third horse to you?
Isn't it weird? Like, oh no, you killed all these people. Don't kill the horse.
It's true. It's
Okay.
innocent.
Yeah. You immediately check on the people that you really care about, and they seem to be fine. So Jigs is fine. He was just inside the house.
We left him here.
No, I think what would make the most sense is if Jigs had accompanied Artemisia out onto the porch and then was kind of like growling upward.
That is accurate.
And she is gonna like be clutching him very hard.
Yeah. Okay. So that morning, you're clutching Jigs quite hard for comfort.
Okay. So
He's good at providing comfort.
we have some plans to make.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, I don't think we should add Bo to the collection under the rose bushes.
No.
Do
Proper
we
cemetery.
know who to contact? Does he have family?
Varys will.
We have a collection.
only
I know we
thing-
have Sturge's brother under the rose bushes. Do we have someone else, or is that just?
No, but I mean, if
Oh,
we
okay.
added Bo, it would be a collection.
Oh, gotcha.
The only thing Nala said
Plan on
during
putting
her
some
kind
vampire
of
heads under there. Sorry.
Nala was kind of feverish and raving throughout the night, and she kept talking about the Twilight and Nightfall
Oh.
and the black lips.
Oh
Sounds
god,
like the
not
that
ball
kiss of
bag
death
again.
killer guy.
Yeah, in fact, when you did get Bo down from the hanging over the porch, he did have the kiss of death black lips on his forehead.
Okay, so plan number 2: how do we make this guy into rose fertilizer?
Aye.
Which guy?
The Twilight Knight, Sturge.
I thought you were talking about Bo. This is
Oh
confusing.
my god!
I feel bad.
No,
I thought
no.
that
It's really
probably-
easy. You
Bo's
just bury
easy.
Bo
The
under the
Twilight Knight would be
roses.
hard.
But Bo is probably like laid out like in the basement or something, and
Mhm.
Artemisia is gonna let Varys know to like contact his family, and then we'll like arrange for them to like get the money to bury him in the cemetery if they need it. Oh, no!
Roomba
No.
is kept far, far away. We're keeping
Yeah.
Roomba far, far
We
away.
just put a bowl on top of Roomba.
Yeah.
Keep him. Because you do not need to leave a gelatinous cube and a body in the same place if you don't want to come back to have only one of those things, I think.
Yeah, basically. Okay.
Okay.
Sturge has been thinking quite a bit about this since Illyra's warning about the Twilight Knight. This fellow is a weasel. He sneaks around and attacks innocents. He is a scum. He's going to keep sneaking around, but we can force him into the open in a very, I think, enjoyable way. I've already started to write a limerick about him.
What?
We hold a concert. That's step
No.
1.
And a dance
We
battle.
flood- This is what we do. We flood the city with playbills, with announcements of the
Aye.
Twilight Knight facing the Westgate Irregulars in the arena 4 days from now. And we put all kinds of taunts on there that indicate he's probably too cowardly to show. And he won't be. He'll be too proud not to show. And we will choose the arena. He won't be able to sneak into anyone's house and kill their grandmother. He's going to have to face us. And in the meantime, every balladeer in town will be given 100 gold to create a mocking ballad about him. Every child will be singing about the Twilight Knight and how this fellow is a sneaking weasel and how the Westgate Irregulars are going to pants him in front of the entire city.
So you're suggesting that we ask people to like to put themselves in danger by singing, oh, the Twilight Knight sucks. Come and kill me. Nye, 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 nye.
Everyone, if everyone's doing it, they can't
Use a
kill
volume.
everyone.
Well,
Right?
how are we going to pay everyone?
Only a
100
small
gold?
Yeah,
percentage of
we
everything.
don't have that kind of
Fine,
money.
fine. I will do it. I will sing on every street corner.
Every okay, that works.
So you're gonna go talk to your contacts and see who you can get to do this, huh?
Yes.
All right. So Sturge announces this plan, And everyone says, here are some reasonable concerns we have, particularly logistical concerns. And he says, I shall do it. And then he strides out the door.
No, wait. I'm not going to do it without their permission. I'm going to say, what do you think?
We could do that. We could try and lure. You're a thief. Could you like set up a fake like thieving job that he might be tempted to like?
I don't think he steals things. I think
He's
he
a
just
weasel.
murders people.
He's a weasel, murders people.
Which is here's my question: how do you know that he's going to be proud enough to wait 4 days to fight us in the arena and not just go, "Oh, are you talking smack about me? Let me show up and put more blood on your house that came out of your."
All right, then we'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Sunday.
Live in the arena until then.
What's that?
Then we just live in the arena. Is he a vampire? Do we know that?
Yeah, he's a
I
vampire.
think so.
Okay.
Not really sure.
He's got to be.
Well, I mean,
High noon.
You're
High
very
noon. We'll
confident.
face you.
Artemisia is definitely going to go. We need to ward Briarhouse. So she's going to go talk to Mirren and see like what she can get and from whom and how much it will cost. And for that, all the money that she has available that she can to keep anybody in Briarhouse safe. And maybe the tall house too, so that the kids don't have to leave their home. We can take Nala to them, and then she can be safe there.
So Stong basically wants to take everybody over to Mirren's, but I think at the same time, Stong is not there. He's still with the kids, so he's gonna like do a sending to Cecilia and be like, "Hey, Cecilia, tell me when Nala wakes up. Thank you. Now I can also bring you a sandwich when back."
And who did you send that to?
To me,
Cecilia.
Did you
Cecilia,
want to
okay.
mention going to Mirren's, or was that just a non sequitur?
That was a non sequitur.
Great. I could use a sandwich.
Okay.
I can't. So tired. I can't count.
So
I
let-
say great a sandwich. I will do that. Sturge has a bonkers idea. You need to come back in 25 words. Let's just say that, because tonight is definitely not Aaron's math stream.
All right. So let me get this straight. Stong is taking care of the kids, and he's going to start coming back to Briarhouse. Sturge has this plan, and he's going to go talk to his contacts about setting some of this into motion, right? Yes?
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to go straight to a printer.
I'm gonna drop the
Artemisia
kids-
is currently getting dressed to go see Mirren.
I'm going to drop the kids off at Mirren first.
Okay.
So maybe I'll meet Artemisia there.
Well, Mirren's tower is pretty safe. Okay.
Celia has just recalled we have not checked on Sarshan.
So as Sturge is heading out the door
To his
on
friends
his,
Xeroxy
on
and
his
Kinkos.
plan, Sarshan appears, having returned to Briarhouse at the same time that Sturge leaves. And he goes, "Oh, hello.
What's up? We have a problem.
Is my stepmother all right?
I can smell that." What? Of course. She was when I left, anyway.
Good.
Are you
That
heading?
woman has some very boring habits. Would you like to hear about them?
Maybe later. We have more important problems.
He says, "What's wrong? I can smell something is wrong. It
The-
smells like blood here."
Yeah. Can you? Well, we left the words for now, right? It says he fools.
Oh, you did? Yeah. He says,
Well-
"Oh, that must be where the smell is coming from."
Well, I mean, unless because Artemisia wants to clean it off, but I was just thinking like if he could smell like
Oh yeah.
who the blood came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Sergeant gets immediately very serious. He didn't notice the bloody words before, but once you pointed them out, he did. And he goes, "Oh, yes, of course. How can I be of assistance?"
These are of different colors. Can you smell like what kind of people they came from, or?
Yes, he leans up and presses his face to the wall, basically, to sniff. And he says, it's very dry. It's hard to hold on." And then he runs into the house and he runs upstairs and he says, "The killer is in here." Poof. And that's where Nala is. And he goes, "Oh, one of the victims right there.
Yep.
Aye.
I
Hello,
think the other is in the basement.
It's just 2?
Well, there are 8 in total. And well, I'm not sure where the others are, but I could look for them if that's what you like.
That seems like something we should probably do, yes.
Okay.
But be careful. The
And we're
killer's
going-
still about.
Yes. We have a vampire problem.
Of course. Yes, I would be happy to help out. The city is a very large place, though. Perhaps I can accompany one of you as you go about, and that would give me a frame of reference, places to search.
I mean, I guess I'm not doing anything unless I'm coming with you to Mirren's.
Perfect. I can accompany you if you like.
Where am I going?
Well, we can pick a direction, and then if my nose picks up one of the scents, we'll follow the scent.
Okay. Apparently, I'm following Sarshan's nose around Westgate. Everybody else have a plan?
Well, I was going to suggest, like, if you could split it up, and Jigs could maybe do the same thing if with like maybe Artemisia or someone, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to mention that in front of Sarshan or not.
Sarshan said,
No,
well,
it's cool. Be cool.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. Sarshan agrees if you bring that up in front of him. And he says, yes, one of you should definitely take the hound, and he can do the same thing.
Divide up the work.
He's probably even better at it than me.
Well,
how about you, Rogar, or perhaps Artemisia? He seems to have bonded to both of you very, very much.
He's still my wolf.
Of course.
well, Rogar, did you have anywhere that you want? Because I'm going to go to Mirren's, but I can certainly sort of go by way of where Jigs might find a trail.
If Jig accompanies you to Mirren's, then if he smells something along the way, he might.
Yeah.
I think Caliph had mentioned going to the university. I can't remember why, but I was thinking it might be good to go, not just for that reason, but also.
Oh, Aiden.
Aiden.
So you're going to go with Caliph?
Aye, just to see if there's anything. He was present when we last faced the Twilight Knight, and he's into necromancy, so I'd be interested to see if he has any insights, perhaps.
Good idea.
And I thought that the Twilight Knight used House of Almos as to manipulate everybody, and he's a member of House of Almos, apparently. So many reasons I'd be very interested in speaking to Aiden at this particular.
I feel like that was just like a coincidence.
I'm sure it was a coincidence.
Party.
But he might know something.
I'm sure it was a coincidence.
Sure.
Well, Caliph, take samples or whatever of the letters if you can, like scrapes them off, and then once Jigs gets the smell he needs, she's gonna clean them properly, so it's not just like there for anybody to see.
Okay. Well, some people have seen people walking by and such. And when the first broadsheets come out, some of them are talking about bizarre threats in the old city, and there's a story about words being written on a private residence. One of the broadsheets is reporting that it did belong to Artemisia Terrorone, the leader of the Westgate Irregulars.
Leader.
That's what the broadsheet says.
She'll take it.
That's the Daily Dagger that's saying that.
Oh, the Daily Dagger, of course.
Right.
So I was wondering if you could prestidigitate, like, just carefully change the F to like a C, so it just says the Cools. And then, like,
yes, there is some debate among the broadsheets and people walking by about what "he fools" means. Some of them interpret it to be the realm's equivalent of some kind of feminist statement, which is a really problematic take. Anyway,
so on the way as we're passing by other houses, can we like stealthily put words up on their door just to disguise which house is the actual one that was targeted?
Like you want to write something in blood on someone else's house?
Yeah.
Okar Stalker.
I'm not saying don't do it, but I am saying this.
Just like a couple. Seems like a good disguise for our house.
Like, you know, yeah, a paint. Red paint, maybe.
Okay. Let's do this. All right. So that you have split the party into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces.
Happy.
Let's,
I would like to point out that we started this mentioning that we are now in a horror movie episode and we just split the party.
Oh no.
It's
Five ways.
required.
You know
Someone's gonna
what?
die.
Exactly. We know our tropes. This is what has to happen.
Aye.
You know, just
But
I just play
Artemisia's
into
not
the
a
story.
virgin. Like, certainly survive.
this is true. Some of us will have problems.
Yes. All right. So, okay. Who would you like to do first? Should we do Sturge first? Let's do Sturge
Let's do
first.
Sturge.
So
Let's do
headed,
Sturge first.
Sturge headed to see his contact down at the docks. Well, up at the docks. The docks is actually in the northern part of the city.
Well, he's actually got the first thing he wants to do is go to a printer.
Printer,
A printer.
like a printing press. Okay.
Yes, and he needs to get a rush job. To
Okay. Printing presses in the realms are all run by halflings.
Mhm.
So the halfling wait staff is like, oh, yes, of course, rush job. Absolutely.
Oh, okay, good. And
It's going to be very expensive. I want you to know that. I don't want you to think that we're not dealing with you fairly.
if I return in an hour, can we have it by? How long would it take you?
Depends. How big are we talking? How many words? How many letters?
Oh,
How big are these letters?
So, like a broadsheet, a page of broadsheet.
Oh, like a broadsheet.
A
Okay,
playbill.
perfect.
A playbill.
Like a full page ad in the broadsheets.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Good idea.
You want to hit all the broadsheets? You want to hit the Daily Dagger? You want to hit the Straight Thrust? You want to hit the any of them that you like in particular?
Oh,
Daily Dagger for sure.
Daily Dagger for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
We have certain agreements with the Daily Dagger.
Hmm.
That's going to be an extra expense.
Hmm.
I don't want you to think I'm not treating you fairly.
All right. How many broadsheets are there in this town?
At least 12.
12. Okay.
I know it's a thriving industry.
12 it is. 12 it is.
All 12 of them.
So it's going to take me an hour to whip this up,
I see.
and also I need to check with the arena to make sure everything's set. So
And how many days do you want this
run?
notice to appear?
2.
All right. Well, we'll have to do some math, and we'll get back to you.
Excellent.
You have it written.
I will have it written.
We're going to need a down payment.
All right. How much does that run a body these days?
12 gold pieces.
Okay. 12. Has to be 12.
12 gold pieces, 12 broadsheets. I don't want you to think we're not treating you fairly.
I give him 12.
I get the feeling that they're scalping you.
Yeah.
Give him 12. I want him to feel like he's scalping me. And that
Okay, you give him 12 gold pieces.
Yes.
He goes, perfect.
Do I get a receipt?
Oh, yeah, of course. I don't want you to think we're not treating you fairly. He hands you a receipt for 12 gold pieces. And it
Submit it
says
to Artemisia.
preliminary contract,
All right. Thank you. So
advance fee.
Perfect. Well done. You're a professional.
We are.
I gotta go. So he gets out on a horse. He needs a horse. So he's gonna hire a
Did you
horse.
rent a horse?
Yeah, rent a horse
Okay, that's
and
2 silver pieces.
go as fast as I can to the arena.
How much money does Sturge have?
A bit.
Sturge has
Okay.
never had anything to spend it on. So
Okay.
Just curious.
Okay.
Just curious.
I
Yeah,
mean, he
you.
steals all his magic items. So
Yeah. What?
Well, all right. So you're
Yeah,
headed
money,
out.
you say.
You're headed out to jump on your horse and go to the arena when a coin messenger comes up to you. He says, "Are you Crab and Gleer?
Who sent you?
Message for you, sir."
From? Grab his wrist. Don't
it
go
appears-
anywhere. Who did it come from?
A fellow by the name of Dequilius, which you recognize as one of your contacts who works down at the dock ward.
Very well. Thank you.
He says he has urgent business with you.
Very well. Thank you. And that's it. It's not like anything on the paper. It's just that message.
Yeah. So, well, it's pointing you to the black boot,
All right.
and he holds out his hand.
Right. Give him some silver.
Okay. He
Okay.
scampers off.
All right. And I
Thriving gig economy.
get on the horse, go down to the boot.
Okay. Yep. You ride down to the boot. You tie up the horse, or you throw the reins kind of vaguely over the bar, whatever. And the boot is surprisingly quiet. That's the first thing you notice when you get off the horse.
Mm-hmm. Look
When you
around.
step inside, you see that it appears to be mostly empty of patrons, except for one person sitting in the far corner in
Dequilius?
shadow.
Is it Dequilius?
You say Dequilius, and you step forward, and you realize that it's not a person, but the corpse of a person.
Oh no.
Oh.
It is the corpse of Dequilius. Sitting there, he's wearing like a half cape that's kind of draped around his neck and soaked in blood, so it's red.
Oh man, 5 more bodies to go.
On the table is a blood-soaked knife. There's a wine cup full of blood, and there's a plate with some kind of like meat, like rotted meat on it,
Oh man.
and a deck of like playing cards strewn all over the table.
Achilles.
And Dequilius has a carrot attached to his face.
Oh, it's you. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dirge and effigy.
That's
Yeah.
clever.
Admire the villain style.
And
Clever and classy.
Oh my god.
as
That's
you
your
draw
friend.
closer, you see that there's something written in blood on the wall above his head.
Okay.
And it says, "Hail, magician."
Hmm.
Oh. We got some tarot thing going on.
Hmm.
Oh, Bo is upside down. It's a hangman.
Mhm.
No, I got smashed by a chariot. Oh,
Oh,
no!
Yep.
no.
Put the pieces
No.
together.
Okay.
Cultural
Although Song
architecture,
didn't
right?
see any
Anyway.
of that.
That's what you found. Oh, there's something clutched in Dequilius's hand.
Can I tell what it is? Is it a
Yes, it is a gnarled piece of wood. It is, in fact, your wand of magic missiles.
Whoa.
I will mage hand that out of his hands and examine it in the air in front of me.
Okay.
Booby trapped.
It looks
Okay.
like
It has some blood on it, but otherwise it appears to be just the wand.
Booby trapped.
while it's there in front of me, I'll prestidigitate the blood off of it.
Okay. The globules fly off, smack into the wall,
Really,
like in a 90s action movie.
cast detect magic. Is it still a working wand?
Yeah. Still magical.
Just
Hmm.
hold my sleeve out like
Fully
this.
charged, in fact.
Hmm.
This doesn't seem right.
Someone's not afraid of you.
All right,
It's
so I
a power move.
It's a power
hold my
move.
sleeve out
Okay.
and mage hand it back into its little slot. I'll say,
Is at that point that the doors burst open and the Westgate wash comes in?
mhm, my back is to them.
Yeah, you
And-
standing over this dead body. and
Oh
all.
no.
All
All right, let's cut
wait,
to one of the
wait,
other
wait, wait.
irregulars.
With my back, with
Oh,
my back to them,
man.
with my back to them, I disguise myself into the Twilight Knight.
Whoa.
Okay. immediately attack you. All right.
man.
So we'll cut to one of the other irregulars here. So who wants to go next?
That guy's a rookie. He's a rookie.
Is there an order around the screen?
I don't know. Let's
Maybe-
go with Caliph next.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
we're
to me.
top row.
Sure.
Okay. I can't see the screen, so
Yeah.
go with Caliph next. So Caliph and I believe Rogar are both going to the university.
Aye.
Okay.
And as we're moving along through the city, I'm gonna say I'm glad to have this moment with you there, Caliph. I've been meaning to say, I've noticed you kind of been avoiding this, but I'm an orphan, and I'm sort of avoiding those who raised me, and not in great standing with them right now, and so I'm kind of alone, in the city, seeking something that maybe is not very approved of by them, and I don't know. I feel like maybe you also seem to be in this city alone, sort of seeking something. And so I just wanted to say that I am here to help you if you ever need it. And I am a bit worried about the effects your quest seems to be having on you, with this the necromancy. Well, this interest you have in necromancy, I guess, not necessarily a quest, but this very strong focus that you have on necromancy, it seems to be getting stronger and seems to be having quite an effect on you. And I'm not trying to not saying anything bad. It's just when you're ready, I'd love to hear what's driving this interest in necromancy, and what do you hope to do with that power? Do
You
you
want a lift? We're at the Staples. Dumpling looks fine, right?
Okay, I understand. But if
Yes.
Would you
this
like a
is
lift? Dumpling can carry both of us.
That's
okay,
true.
all right.
You're near the stables, and you see that there is a large crowd of people down in a nearby crossing of two roads, gathered around something.
You said
Oh.
the horses die.
Well, actually, it's actually the market. Sorry, the market has a bunch of people, so you're used to seeing a lot of people at the market, but they all seem to be gathered around something in the market, which is near where the stables are. Dumpling is there. Dumpling is looks up at you, happy that you're there. Sees Rogar, was like, I guess that's okay. Dumpling is a horse raised by elves. Dumpling doesn't really like dwarves very much because, obviously the elves trained their horses not to like dwarves too.
It's like such snobs sometimes.
Yeah. So, Rogar, your attention is drawn to this crowd. You're not really sure why. They're kind of chattering and talking animatedly, and several of them are like, oh no, oh.
Okay, I'll make out of my way over there curiously.
Okay. All right. You kind of push your way through the crowd using your lower center of gravity.
Aye.
And you find in the middle of the market a corpse. Oh, what a surprise. A kind of a 4 foot tall, very broad person dressed in the colors of Sharinlar, in fact.
No, what?
Yes, a dwarf, you're pretty sure. With a golden skull cap pressed very tightly on his head.
Okay.
And he's holding a long stick, like the haft of a hammer, through which is thrust a crude heart-shaped rock.
All right.
And he's wearing a belt that has 2 interlocked brass keys on it. And you think he looks vaguely familiar. In fact, you're pretty sure he's the dwarf who came up to you, Wrath, who misunderstood your sermon, but was inspired by your faith and ardor.
All
And
right.
he's now very, very dead.
That
He
was
went
the
up to
doppel.
doppelganger.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
the doppel.
Oh, maybe you, Rogar, hadn't recognized this
Right.
person
Yeah.
at all.
But
Okay.
audience, dang yo!
All right.
Right.
Right,
You're not playing.
Right.
He has the black lips on his forehead as well, and blood oozing from under the skull cap.
Well, that's no good. He is clearly dead. Aye.
Mhm.
So there's not a lot I can do here. I mean,
That's supposed to be you, man.
clearly it's supposed to be me, and so I'm like looking around, and I slowly step back into the crowd.
Okay. Homer Simpson back into the crowd. Okay. All right.
Wow.
As you're retreating from the scene,
Uh-huh.
someone experimentally like lifts the skull cap, and
Uh-huh.
it's
Oh,
just
no.
blood underneath. There's no hair or scalp.
Oh,
or
no.
anything there. Yeah. All right. It's just that little glimpse of horror.
Right,
And you get
okay.
back to where Caliph is walking out Dumpling from the stables, fully saddled and ready to go.
Oh, someone killed someone and made him look like me. This is not good. I think we need to settle.
I don't think we should be here.
I agree. We should let's get to the university as quickly as possible and rejoin the others. I think we need to settle this as quickly as possible before more innocents die. That's the best thing that we can do. The faster we solve this, take care of the Twilight Knight, the fewer people will die.
Okay, so you head to the university. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned last time when I tried to like deal with a crowd and I got thrown in prison for an entire episode.
Stay away from people.
Well,
You
it's going to be
ask around.
Sturge's turn to go to prison now.
You ask around, and it appears that Aiden is giving a lecture about necromancy, of course. But it's almost over. It's just a few minutes. If you want to listen to the end of it, that's fine.
Sure.
They recognize Caliph as Aiden's friend.
Uh-oh. Where'd
Oh,
Steven-
it looks like we lost Sturge. Did our display get all messed up there?
Yes, it did.
All right,
Sorry about that, viewers.
everyone. We're having slight technical difficulties, so we're going to take our break right now
Yeah.
and resolve all
Fix
this.
this. Yeah.
So, mods, feel free to run that interview +1 poll. Emily is not a valid choice because she was the interview +1 last week, and otherwise, it could be anybody, including Steven, who probably fell asleep, but we're going to see. So, I hope everything is well. We'll see you back in a few minutes.
Interesting.
Marcus, do your thing. Okay. Hail and well met. Sorry about those technical issues.
Yeah.
Talos threw a lightning bolt at Steven's house, and fortunately, he made his dex save, and he is back. But he does not have evasion, unlike his character, so he did take some damage. Anyway, Steven Merlino, our interview +1 for today.
Thank you.
We got some good questions. I'm glad you're back with us, Steven.
Yeah, me too.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about how Sturge is feeling right now, where he expects us all to go?
Oh, he thinks this guy is a rookie. This guy thinks he's clever. He just needs to wait just one day. What comes out in the broadsheets and on the stage, on the street corners, the ballads that the children will be singing without an understanding. He's gonna.
So you are concocting a marvelous flamboyant revenge, are you?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's basically he's going to throw down a challenge that this creep can't refuse.
Excellent.
And so, he's good at satire. He's going to come up with some satirical jibes.
All right, let's get to some questions. So the first question is from Autarchus69. Okay. It seems like that's got to be one of your students or somebody like that. Anyway, when did you start gaming?
I remember in the 7th or 8th grade, a friend of mine got this little box. It was a very small box with 3 brown paper stapled together books, which were the original D&D books.
Mm.
And they were infuriating because they didn't have enough material in them. And we kept searching and searching for rules that just didn't exist yet. But still, it was enough to play the game. And I never stopped from that day. It was just, that was my favorite thing.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Speaking of your long history of gaming, what is your favorite gaming memory? I mean, other than this game, you don't have to say this game. It's fine. We know where your favorite.
Well, okay. I remember, I mean, other than just hanging out with your best friends, right? Late at night, playing on the ping pong table in the unfinished basement, that kind of stuff. Other than that, I remember one time I had a character I played a barbarian, and he found a magic item that kept him spotlessly clean at all times. And he traveled with a paladin. And so you had this filthy, travel-stained paladin and this spotless barbarian, going through the streets together. And there was a time when we fought a lich, and man, it was epic. The lich made the paladin's eyeball explode. We were playing at that time. We were playing Rollmaster, which is like D&D if you wish there were more rules. And it's so funny because in this particular game, when you roll your dice for damage, and it actually tells you exactly where on the body your blade hit and everything. And so I slew this lich, not with a dramatic beheading or sword through the heart. I cut off his leg. But still, so it was a little bit anticlimactic, but we won, and it was a really scary fight. And I guess that's probably the best.
Nice. All right. Okay. On the flip side, have you ever been embarrassed to be a gamer?
Oh, yes. Oh, I was in the closet for years and years. I'm not in the closet anymore, as you might have noticed. I had friends who I play with now who used to go in the library at high school and play during lunch. Oh man, I was so in the closet. I was like only on the weekends, and it took me a long time to own it. And I'm glad I did, because it's what I love to do, and it's kind of people I like to hang out with. And it was just, I think it's fair to say I was embarrassed for first half of my life about it, but then I got over it, grew up a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing about the evolution of gaming. We have different generations that look at gaming differently.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, it was a much less socially acceptable thing to do. So when I was coming up gaming, it was kind of moderate. Like you were looked at sort of not super great for being a gamer, but mostly you were ignored. You weren't really bullied really as much for being a gamer, so much as like, man, those people, just ignore them.
Yeah,
that was my experience. But then again, I'm 6'7", so that might be why they didn't bully me too. So there's a certain intersection of traits. But yeah, the farther back you go, the harder it was to be a gamer socially anyway. And I'm really glad to see it becoming more socially acceptable. More people are getting into it and building those kind of social connections. I mean, we all are. From different generations and different, perspectives on the game and on writing, and it's produced something really great. I encourage all of you, if you are not in a gaming group, look for one. try it out, see where it leads you. I mean, you can make some really cool connections with people you never expected. All right, so a question about Sturge.
Yes.
So Sturge has an extremely long nose. Is that nose ticklish?
Let's see. Let's just find out.
You all can't see it, but Aaron just busted up like crazy.
Yes, it is. It's frustrating in the springtime. Sneezes all the time, and it sounds like a Canadian goose. Or a Canada goose, I should say. So yeah, definitely.
Nice. Okay, so 2 more questions. One, is it tough being so ruggedly handsome?
Well, thank you. That's a thank you.
Thank you to Steven / Sturge stands in the audience. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't ever think of myself as that, so I guess it must be really easy. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that.
All right, very cool. And you are a writer, of course, and you mentioned your book becoming available. Are you working on something at the moment that you'd like to tell us about?
Sure. Yeah. 2 things. Book 3, which I took a break from for a while to write a D&D campaign for the Dungeon Masters Guild, which I'm really excited about. It's been a lot of fun. So both of those things. I'd love to have that D&D thing done by the end of summer. Anyway, but it's just like everything else that I write. I don't write short form. Everything gets long. So this campaign is going to be, it's pretty 90 pages, like 60,000 words. And
that's pretty cool.
It's going to it's going to be another one. There'll be
just one F-bomb.
Yeah, okay. That's it for the rest of the night. Seems like I'm always the one using it up. Sorry, everyone else.
Hey, I did one time. That's fine.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Maybe, we can convince you to play test that with us as a group using Roll20, because I know you've been itching to use Roll20. We are exploring that for the game going forward. We might be doing it as early as next week. I guess we'll see.
So, Roll20. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. It depends on whether we can pull it all together and make the technology work. So keep your eyes peeled, because on our new channel, Dungeon Scrawlers, twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers, we're gonna have a lot of cool stuff that we haven't done so far. So
right on.
Cool surprises.
All right.
Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, audience, for voting for Steven. Thank you for trolling us a little bit since he was having the technical difficulties, but we're glad to talk with you. Thanks, Steven.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we back? And we're back. Excellent. All right. So you were headed to the university. You were going to listen to Aiden's, the last of Aiden's lecture. So the hall in which he is speaking to would-be necromancers. I see that a couple of you are still muted, so make sure you check that before you get going. Including Emily. Emily, you were still muted.
Yep.
Okay. So the hall is full. It's about half full of would-be necromancers. A lot of young women and young men who are mostly there to kind of like at Aiden, because he has those,
So it's
roguish good looks,
like a Bright Eyes concert or something. Just a bunch of
a little bit
emo looking. Right, okay.
There are quite a few.
Glow.
Panic at the Disco.
He is talking about the higher level theories of how the awareness and consciousness relates to necromancy, and undead creatures that could be raised with the persona of the person who perished, and whether that's really the same person or just a reflection. And it's kind of getting metaphysical. And several times somebody has interrupted him and said, "What about enchanters?" And he has so far avoided taking that bait. All right. As you were in the crowd. A bunch of hecklers who really want to hear that story. As you are sitting there, Rogar,
Aye.
You smell something.
Right. Okay.
You smell yourself. It is not just you.
Okay. All right. Good.
You smell rot and decay.
Oh, well, we are in a room full of necromancers.
Somebody brought their home project to school.
Yeah.
It smells like fresh death.
Oh, okay.
Does Aiden look like he got a new arm?
That's the worst air freshener, by the way.
It's
Fresh
hard
death.
to it's hard to tell. Aiden is always wearing long sleeves and gloves and stuff. He does have 2 arms. That is true.
Just 2.
Just 2 arms.
That
Unless
new
his legs are also arms. You can't really tell.
Right. Oh, that new death smell. All right. So, okay.
You get up and follow your nose.
I Caliph. Something might be amiss, I say, and I get up and I follow my nose.
All right. Your nose leads you.
Caliph follows Rogar.
Great. Rogar's nose leads both of you to the rear of the hall. This room is supported by pillars. Pillars will come down in and amongst a row of seats. And you see that the back couple of rows of the hall are empty. There's no one sitting there, except for one person who seems to be sitting sort of in the middle of one of the rows between 2 pillars.
Being very still.
Being very still.
Like unnaturally?
Like unnaturally still. Well, it depends. Aiden at that point is talking about how death is a natural part of life. Anyway.
Body number
Yes.
5.
This person is slumped up against the wall at the college between 2 pillars. She wears a blue robe with a holy symbol on the front. It looks like a flower with stalks of wheat.
Okay.
One of the pillars is whitewashed the way all the pillars are, but one of them is blistered black as though with flame. She wears some kind of crown, like with horns, and a veil over her face.
Great.
And around her, plastered on the wall, are thousands of feathers.
I was waiting for that one.
In the shape of wings.
Yep, that's what I was expecting. All right, so Caliph, I don't know if you want to see this or not, but apparently, I told you how someone
you can see it at this point,
Aye,
since you followed him.
Aye.
Gonna lift the veil. Is it anyone we recognize?
Well, you can't really tell because her face is basically utterly mutilated.
Oh,
Horrifying. Both of you make a wisdom save, please. Caliph, you have advantage on your save.
12.
Rogar, you are a little shaken.
15.
Okay, Caliph, you are okay. It's unsettling, but you were able to just kind of go through it.
Especially since I was just talking to her about how I'm worried about the path she's going down and the effects of necromancy and all that. This is this feels a little like an unsettling preview of my
At that moment, the hall is full of applause.
Mm-hmm.
Which, for one horrifying moment, you're like, oh, maybe they mean us. And then you realize that Aiden has ended his lecture and students start filing out.
Are people walking by this body?
Oh, yeah, they're headed toward you. Because the exits are near you.
Oh. Disguise person really quick so it just looks like a sleeping student.
You do what spell?
Disguise person?
Oops. No, wait, that's disguise self.
Disguise yourself as a Twilight Knight, just like Sturge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna count down from 10. That's how much time you have.
Kayla's just gonna grab Rogar and it's like, we're just gonna position ourselves so we're the person.
You probably spread your wings a bit, yeah.
Wings are out. Block everything from sight.
Spread your wings. Boom! You spread your wings. Gold feathers go flying off. Just a few, not all of them or anything.
I'll stand there and go, have you heard about Sharinlar and the truth of life and how necromancy is a very, very bad idea? You probably shouldn't be doing it. I'm just
Make
saying.
a performance check, Rogar.
And,
Kayla's gonna punch him in the shoulder.
No.
Because that's all she can do.
Take 1 damage, Rogar.
okay, a performance. I got 5 plus something. So 5.
The students
nine
don't.
straight still does
The
one
students
damage.
don't even
Nice.
look at you. They just
7.
filter
I got
past.
7.
They're like,
Right.
"Oh, this is again."
All right. Well, I'm just trying to. That's the whole point. I was trying to make him like not want to.
Then Aiden comes walking up to you.
Aye.
Oh, hello. Hi, Caliph. Hello,
Aiden.
Rogar.
Hello, Aiden. How are you, lad?
Is the hall empty at this point?
Mostly, yeah. People are filtering out. Aiden says goodbye to a few people, and then he's the last one there.
All right.
What?
Just
And he
Aiden
says,
and-
"Oh, yeah, I can see the damage." He's looking at your wings.
Once it's just Aiden and us, gonna drop the wings, step aside.
Oh,
Yeah.
He walks past you
Those are
as though
my
he's
purposes.
completely forgotten both of you were there. And he looks at the thing and he's like, "Oh,
What can you tell us about this, Aiden?
well, there's obviously a lot of care that went into this and a lot of symbolism, and it's very wasteful."
Aye.
That's his assessment.
All
Boyfriend
death is wasteful,
weird.
my friend.
Yes, but unnecessary mutilation is wasteful. That's what I mean.
As opposed to the necessary mutilation, I suppose.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That necessary mutilation.
Right.
Oh,
See,
like
there are
band-aid?
certain mutilations
Oh,
that you can do
Aiden.
upon the body that will keep it from rising as an undead creature.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, Aiden, I need your help. I mean, we need your help.
Sure, of course. Whatever you need. Does it have to do with, and he points at the body?
Aye.
Yep.
I'm afraid so. And you may be involved as well. In fact, Caliph, he may well be in danger now that I think about it.
Yeah, actually, have you been cut? Has anyone tried to cut you recently or attack you?
Well, not me directly, but some of my servants, if you're counting when I helped in the East End yesterday. They destroyed a lot of work, in fact. It's
something
okay.
Something a little more personal.
People always die. It's not going to be a problem.
Like more of a singular attacker seeking you.
You
out,
mean,
sort
did
of.
someone attack me personally?
Aye.
Yes.
Well, I feel a little bit attacked that I'm doing this lecture about necromancy and you come and tell them about Sharinlar, the goddess of life and beauty. I mean, I don't come down to where
apologize.
you're preaching about Sharinlar and tell everyone about Velsharoon, for instance, the god
Fair.
on death.
I just was trying to get them to avoid.
But I mean,
this.
I'm not taking it personally. It's just, it
Good.
feels a little bit like an attack.
I do owe you an apology. I am very sorry, Aiden.
But I understand it was just cover to keep people from being upset about seeing that body.
Indeed.
Or obsessed about seeing that body. There are some weird people that take my lecture. Anyway, what do you need my help with?
It's a problem, I imagine.
Do you want to talk to it?
No. Oh, no.
I'm not. I think we're very sure who did it this time.
Oh,
So I don't think we need to talk.
the
to
kiss of death killer.
Aye.
Like if you wipe away the blood here, you can clearly see the signs of necrotic damage, even though he chopped her face off.
Oh, gross.
Right. I'm just like a little
What's
bit.
with the feathers?
Yep.
He
Oh,
picks down one of the feathers. He's like,
Well, I found a dead body that was made to look like me earlier, so I think this is supposed to be Caliph. It's a message directly to her, a promise of, I think, what the kiss of death killer intends.
he suddenly gets serious. He's like, someone threatened you.
Someone's threatening all of us.
All right. I would
And
like to help.
Oh, excellent.
Let me come with you. I'll see what I can do.
Do you?
We should probably bring the body. He pulls out his bag of holding.
I got Aiden, read the room.
And on that
Actually,
note,
Aiden, weren't you
Oh.
saying the other day that there were some texts about vampires or necromancy that could be helpful that Rogar could fetch from the library from us really quickly?
Oh no, I have those on my desk. I was just waiting to give them to you.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll go get them immediately. Do you want me to bring the body? Could it be helpful? It might be helpful.
I don't see how it's doing any help where it is. So might as well bring
You know, you're probably right. He starts casting a spell.
Is this library only about necromancy?
Oh no, it's about all kinds of things. The necromancy section is just one very small section. It's next to the illusion section and also next to the astrology section.
Oh,
which feels like kind of an attack, actually. Anyway, so I've been attacked twice.
Not next to the enchanting section, I take it. All right.
Oh
So-
no, those assholes get their own awesome section with tea that is self-generated by this permanence. But it's not worth going there. Let's just go to my office.
Hey, well,
Do you
I
let
can
him
go-
finish casting his spell?
Yeah.
Okay. The body stands up
I was gonna say this isn't gonna be pretty.
and deposits itself in the bag of holding.
Like swan
Okay.
dives in.
No, he holds it out and it just kind of raggedly steps in.
It's a respectful spell. It's not a joke.
Aiden says, "It's one of my students, I think." It's hard to say. I don't have a thing for faces really, but I mean that isn't really relevant in this case.
Oh my
But
Oh, Aiden.
anyway,
Right. Well, I actually I want to go take a quick peek in the library and see if there is a certain kind of book there.
okay, let's go. All right. So on that note, we're going to cut over to Cecilia and Sarshan.
Okay.
So, Sarshan is accompanying you, and he's sniffing.
I think I'm accompanying him.
We
Following
are
his nose
accompanying
around
each
the
other.
city.
So, was there something you wanted to talk to me about? Sniffs.
I mean, are you prepared to fight a vampire? That seems like something we should know.
What kind of vampire?
Okay, clearly you know more about vampires than me, so we're set.
Oh, okay. So just like the general kind of vampire.
I don't have
Like-
any idea, my guy.
Have you fought this vampire before?
The one we fought is dead. This one
Okay.
showed up and made some pronouncements. I think I don't know, it was all kind of a blur.
You killed a vampire,
Yes,
and now you're being you think another one is going to come and attack you.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes, I can help you fight a vampire.
That's good. The other thing that we should maybe discuss is that there's an excellent chance that Armisha is going to want to talk to you about our mutual friend.
Oh,
And you don't need to tell her everything.
we don't have
She's
very
not
many mutual
worried.
friends, but that still narrows it down.
Oh my goodness. Okay. She wants to talk to you about the heart of the piercing, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
She knows.
okay.
And-
What should I tell her?
I mean, as little as possible, ideally. I
Okay.
don't really want these parts of my life intersecting.
How important is it that I not tell her anything?
I mean, she knows. I don't know what you're going to tell her.
I can avoid telling her anything of any interest.
Then she'll know that you're not telling her anything.
Not necessarily. I think I could distract her.
Don't
You
let her
seem
get too
displeased by that
nosy.
concept.
Oh my god. The
Remember,
only
if
way
you're
this could be
taking a long
weirder
rest,
is if you
no
start
more
taking
than
your shirt
59
off to make my
minutes.
sister distracted.
So you're saying
Sure.
I should not start taking my shirt off to make your sister distracted?
Oh, I'm so torn right now. Because no, I do not want you two ganging up on me in any fashion. But yes, because I have this whole Lilton problem to deal with.
Ah, yes. Lilton. You know, he came to see Marcelea last night?
That is very important information, Sergeant.
I'm telling you now.
What happened?
He came to see her and they had some sort of conversation. It was magically warded, so I couldn't hear what they were saying.
Could you? Okay, that's real frustrating. Can you read lips?
You can do that?
Did you smell them? How did they smell?
Well, they didn't smell like they were attracted to each other, if that's what you're asking.
I meant like, are they angry at each other? Are they teaming up? Although it would be good to know if they were attracted to each other. So I'm glad we can cross that nonsense.
Oh, I mean, she was definitely attracted to him. Like, that was clear.
Artemisia is like, no.
I'm filing this away in case I need it later.
Oh, God.
He smells cold.
There's something wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
He's got something over Artemisia, I'm pretty sure.
Hey, if we're going to keep talking about this, can you pull out that really cool battle axe that you have?
Why?
So we could spar.
What? We're in the middle of the street.
Yeah. He starts bouncing on both feet.
It's not a thing. We don't fight in the middle of the street. Everybody will stare at
Well,
us.
when we start fighting in the middle of the street, people get out of the way.
Okay. I don't want to do that in the middle of the street with everybody staring.
Oh,
at
okay.
us.
Well, we'll go to somewhere private then. Come with me.
Okay.
And he
God, why are
heads
you
off.
just like a puppy person. All right, she follows him. Not sure what to do about this information about Lilton and Marcellia confabbing here.
Okay. He takes you to the entrance to Mirren's manor house.
Did you smell something over here?
Well, if you're referring to Mirren, she has a very distinctive smell.
I mean, you're supposed to be smelling where the blood came from.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the winds to change. The winds change at high sun,
Oh my goodness.
and that is the length of 10 or 12 songs. So we should have some time to do a little sparring. He goes up to the gate, and he makes some kind of growling sound, which, since you have beast speak, is a password of some kind.
Okay.
And the gate says, "Ah, yes. Welcome back, sir." And then it opens.
Okay. Until this moment, Cecilia was very inclined to just like bail whatever this nonsense is. But now she's really curious and she follows him and she's like, I'm sorry, how did you make the gate just open like that?
Well, I've been spending a lot of time with Mirren, and she thinks that it's just more efficient for me to have the password.
I'm sorry, you've been spending a lot of time with Mirren?
Yes.
Talking about what?
Well, mostly I sleep in her garden.
Why are you sleeping in a garden?
Well, because it was the first place I went to when I came to the city, and it was very safe, and she's very nice, and she lets me.
Okay, you don't get rained on and things.
No. Well, I mean, occasionally, but I sleep under one of those giant trees.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Thorsten, you're so strange.
I mean, I don't have anywhere else to sleep. It just makes sense.
Yeah, poor
I am
guy.
not going to make the mistake of offering Sargent a spare room in the firehouse because it is not my house.
So,
But I may mention this to Artemisia later.
he pulls out his curved longsword. He's like, "Come on."
You're serious about this?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can you not focus unless you're doing this or something?
You know, I do have issues with attention, and so it does help to be doing something while I'm talking.
Ugh. Okay.
If you don't mind.
Okay. Okay. she gets
Well,
her
if you
battle
mind
axe
just a
out.
little bit, I suppose that's okay too.
Okay, she gets out her pack blade and turns it into the
Oof.
battle axe.
That is a great
Whoosh,
power
whoosh.
that you have.
Yes, it is not the most useful spell I have. It's much easier to just, melt things' faces with sickening radiance or, electrocute them with witch bolts.
With the power of your will and your passions. Yes, I understand. He holds out his sword,
Don't
kind
do
of
that,
like
it's weird.
slowly, like hit my sword, like sort of testing you, but not really trying to hurt you. Do you engage him in fighting?
I think Cecilia, she was really tempted not to do this, but they need to have a serious conversation about Lilton and things. So she rolls her eyes and she taps his sword. When did Lilton show up?
He showed up about 5 or 6 songs after midnight, when the moon was full and high.
And Marcellia was still awake?
Oh yes, she spends a great deal of time staring into that divining pool that she has.
Weird control freak.
Well, she is a diviner. That is what they tend to do. he hits your battle axe a little, like with a little more skill, and you still knock it off.
Smack it.
Yep.
Not a lot of art to that smack, but irritation.
Yes. He says, "Oh, good, good."
Did she send for him, or did he just show up?
Oh, he just showed up like a gentleman caller.
Ew. Okay.
Gentleman collar. That's the word, right? Like when you're a man and you have a collar around your neck.
Yes.
I'm catching up with how Westgate society works. This time he hits your battle axe much harder, and you kind of like stagger back a little bit. He says, "This is fun. This is good. Come on."
Okay, I'm gonna swing my.
You're gonna take a swing at him.
Yes.
All right, roll an attack roll.
It's a 9.
Okay, he kind of adroitly knocks your axe offline so it doesn't hit him, and he says, yes, he clearly had an intention of some kind. He wanted something from her. I'm not really sure what it was. I had a limited perspective, and there was a mouse that ran by. He swings at you again.
Block.
You block it.
Okay, a mouth? You do have attention problems.
Well, there are certain contexts in which it is much harder to pay attention to human matters. He swings again, much harder this time, and you just kind of knock it aside.
I am too tired to remember Realmsy curses, but a Realmsy curse.
Realmsy curse.
I'm getting irritated.
He says, "You don't need to hold back."
Swing at him.
Make an attack roll.
That's a little better. That one is a 22.
Oh,
Mess him up.
you do hit him. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
Ow.
Okay, give me a second because I just realized I don't have the battle axe.
It's a D8.
Thank
Is this gonna be the 6th murder on this episode?
He was like that when I found him.
Oh, whoa!
Yes, I arranged the body very carefully after a particular tarot card. Can you guess which one? All right.
And I had my strength, which is nothing, so 3.
Okay. All right. So you hit him like kind of over the shoulder, and he catches it on the sword, but your blade bites into his shoulder just a little bit. And he's like, that was much better.
Okay, I didn't ask for your opinion, but I'm a little bit shaken that I just hit him, though. That was not my plan.
What's
But
wrong?
He keeps irritating me.
Are you upset?
I don't know what's happening here.
So, tell me about Wilson and your sister.
I'm not sure where
Strikes
to
at you
start.
again as you start talking. You parry it aside. It's fine.
Ugh. I don't know. She says they're not serious, but he's like almost the only guy she seems to be seeing. He's always around and he hates me, but the feeling's mutual.
But they
Something
are a
is
mated
very-
pair. Yes.
No, I mean, I don't know. That's what she says. She says it's casual. But then she's going around pretending she's Lady Gold.
What does casual mean?
It means that they're all sleeping. They're both sleeping with other people.
Ah, I see.
Is that what it
But as far as I can tell, she's not.
That
But
is
I will
correct.
admit,
As
Is
far
that
as
correct?
I can tell, she is not.
I want to know how he knows that.
How does that make you feel?
Very good sense of smell.
Just curious.
Yes.
I don't like him.
He
Something's
slashes
weird
at you
with him.
again as you start talking.
I
You
might
parry it
notice
aside.
some. Damn it, Sergeant!
So you feel this level of passion infusing your hit, and you slam your axe down hard into the ground, and there's this little tremor.
Dang.
And Sergeant goes, "Yes, Do that again. Come on.
Dude, what the heck was that?
That was you striking at me with your passion.
Ew, can we not say it that way?
Another word. Your will.
Okay.
That's how I strike when I mean to, with my will.
Okay. You just do that?
Yes. And so do you.
You just get really mad first.
It's not necessarily anger, although anger is easy.
You have a lot of it.
Give it to me.
His secret is that he's always mad.
Okay, I will try that move again.
Great. Go ahead and attack.
That is an 18.
Okay. For reference, Sarshan's AC is 20.
Okay.
But you hit him.
Dude,
And go ahead and roll damage.
2.
Okay. What is your charisma modifier?
+5.
Okay, you do 7 points of damage to him.
What?
He falls down.
Okay. I'm just gonna drop that. That was not intentional.
He says,
You
"Oh,
fell.
that was perfect. Oh, that was really good."
Okay.
He touches his wounded chest. You kind of like cut open his gambeson or whatever that he's wearing, and he heals himself because paladin.
Show off.
And he says, you could probably do that too."
Heal myself or hit you with this weird anger weapon?
Well, we already know you can hit me with the anger weapon.
I was gonna say.
You want to do it again?
I don't like how you're smiling about this. You seem to be enjoying it way more than is natural.
I am enjoying it because you are enjoying it.
Let's go back to talking about Lilton.
Okay.
I think he's a demon, or maybe he has demons or something. And I think Illyra thinks so too.
Illyra. Yes.
Do you know Illyra? Have you met Illyra? Or are you just
She's the
pretending
woman
you know?
who smells like sorrow.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You don't know what that means.
No, I don't.
Okay. I
don't
understand.
know why you know what that means.
I don't know why you don't know what that means.
Cool.
Oh wow.
Culture class. I get it. So
Perhaps you're not who I thought you were.
what?
Hmm.
Why are you making this so confusing?
Because of the
Cecilia
gesh.
might be- What gesh? Is
The
that
curse-
the thing where your eyeballs started to melt or something before?
Yes, the curse that I'm under. It's called a gesh.
What is the? You can't tell me what it is, can you?
No.
Your eyeballs will melt if you.
Yes.
I don't actually remember what happened, but Cecilia doesn't either, so it's okay. I know it was bad, and I know Sarshan didn't enjoy it, and Mirren had to do some magic on him. So we're going
Mostly
with
healing
Cec-
magic, yeah.
Cecilia believes his eyeballs started melting. Something like
It's a very powerful compulsion that I'm under.
And the compulsion has to do with the quarry you're hunting?
Yes.
And you haven't found it yet.
I can't say.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You can't that's not me, is it?
I can't say.
Oh, are you kidding me? We go through all this Sarshan
No, I'm
and you're
not kidding
hunting me, I
you.
swear to God.
Cecilia, I would never harm you. You know that. I mean, I might attack you a few times to draw out your
you
passion.
literally just chopped me a couple times.
I didn't do
and
any harm
we
to
agreed
you,
not to
though.
call it that.
You're right. To draw out your will, your anger, your...
You're going to say it again, aren't you?
No, I was going to say heat, but I think you dislike that too.
Whoa.
I do listen to you, Cecilia.
She's going to just put the mask on.
He says, that helps
Okay.
you, doesn't it?
What?
The mask.
I don't like this. Stop talking about me.
Okay.
You have a curse on you. You can't tell me who put it on you, right?
Yes.
And you can't tell me if I'm involved in the thing you're hunting.
I can't say.
Right. Okay. Doesn't get in the way of fighting vampires, are you right? Am I right?
I don't believe so.
Is it the reason you can smell sorrow on people?
I can smell sorrow on people because I'm, well, I can do this. And he turns into a red-furred wolf.
Okay, I wasn't seeing that coming. Okay. I feel like several things that
He kind of barks at you, and you can understand because you have beast speak.
Right.
He says, "Oh, the winds have changed."
Okay. Several things that Cecilia witnessed over her gap year fighting necromancers in the Feywild and the Frozen North suddenly are recast slightly differently. And maybe those weird elves who really like wolves.
Like Sarshan.
Might be like Sarshan.
Mm.
Oh. She missed some things. Weird. Okay.
He says,
are you gonna go around like that?
"Oh, you should follow me."
Like
And
that?
he
Or
starts
are you gonna
heading.
change back?
No, he just starts running
Sarshan!
toward the gate. You follow him after him.
Don't like this.
Okay, Artemisia. So, if I recall correctly, you were headed to Dark Dance Manor, yes?
Yeah.
Because you were going to see Mirren?
Yeah.
And you were going with Jix. Okay. You ran into Stong along the way. That is why you haven't arrived yet.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm gonna go talk to Mirren for warding and stuff. Are the kids, are they all okay?
Yeah, they all seem to be fine. They don't really know about their mother yet. But
He's got all the kids with him, right? You have
Yeah.
all the kids with you?
Yeah. So he's whispering the second part. It's like, I kind of want to
Talking
tell
code.
them after I know she's okay.
Sounds good to me. Well, if we can afford it, I hope to get some warding for, or have them stay here or something for them too, not just for Briarhouse.
I definitely want the kids to stay with Mirren, and I have plenty of money, and I want to buy some scrolls or other protections, because I have a feeling that we're gonna have to face this Twilight Knight sooner rather than later. So let's go.
Yep.
Okay. So you're headed down the street when you come across this large group of people that are kind of blocking your way.
Because they're looking at something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be gross.
Are
They're
they
looking-
watching an interesting puppet show?
It's two
They
dogs
watching?
fighting.
Are they
Stong
watching Sturge performing?
holds the kids back,
No.
and he just motions to Artemisia with his head.
Yeah.
So, Stong, with your prodigious height, you can see that they are looking at a fountain.
Okay.
They're all gathered around a fountain, like they're there for water from the fountain, right?
Okay. I tell Artemisia, hey, they're looking at something attached to the fountain. We should go
Uh-oh.
check it out. I'll hold the kids back.
Something
It's-
about it clearly looks odd to you. You can't really tell from this distance, though. Artemisia, you gonna go investigate?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
Water in
All
the
right.
fountain.
So this is a pretty thick crowd of people. How are you going to get through with your prodigious 6 strength?
I could turn you into a giant monkey.
No.
Could do that.
Fashionable monkey.
She's gonna put a hand on Jiggs's collar, and she's gonna
Yep.
bend down a little and be like, "Can you fake growl at people to get them to let us through?" And so she's
Okay. Yeah, people start getting out of the way. Yeah, Jake seems displeased about where you are right now. But his nose is drawn in this direction. And as you come closer, this is what you find. So the crowd parts, and you see that there in the fountain is a a female figure covered in a fountain of blood. Like the fountain is producing blood, not water.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Just kind of sitting there with a dead wolf and its head lying in her lap.
What?
Her robe used to be white, but is now stained with blood, and she has this crown of what looks like wilted wildflowers. And at first, you are dead certain, like in your gut, that that's Cecilia and Sarshan that you're looking at. And then a moment later, you realize that it's not. It's someone else. You're pretty sure because she has just human-shaped ears and not half-elven features.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a heart-stopping moment.
Well, she's probably still hyperventilating slightly.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jigs is like, "Arr." And
Lightning's dancing around her.
kind of like nudges his head against your hand.
Yeah, she's hanging on. She's hanging on tight. Well, I mean, Rogar kind of had a good idea when he found his body, because, like, what can she do? So she's gonna back up to go
away.
back to Stong. And Stong, you'll see that she's still, like, she's not crying, but she's like kind of like panic attack, like breathing and shaking kind of thing. So.
The other detail was that the body had in its other hand, not in the wolf on the wolf's head, a broken round mask. Yeah. Not nearly of the quality of Cecilia's mask, but yeah, you get the idea.
You'd have to go to Rashman to get a mask as mine.
Absolutely. So you get back to Stong. Stong, you're standing there with the kids. And Mirabelle's like, want to see.
No, Maribel. No, you can't see. No.
Maybe next time, Mirabelle. We have to
What do you
really
mean
get to
next
Auntie
time?
Mirren's.
Mirabelle looks at Stong.
It's like my sister. It's
Promise?
but it's not my sister, but it looks like we
Tom sees that you're freaking out. He's gonna enhance your ability to, so I'm thinking either like Constitution or Wisdom. Maybe Wisdom for like mental stuff to fortify against, like, fear or something. So
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Owl's Wisdom on you.
In your agitated state, do you accept that spell?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You cast a spell, which sounds like
Hoot hoot. Just like palm her head. Hoot hoot.
Okay. Mirabelle, are you wearing Mirabelle in the?
I am.
Okay. Mirabelle also reaches out with her small hand and touches Artemisia on the cheek.
Oh.
It says, "Auntie Artie." And between those two things, you kind of relax a little bit.
Okay.
And then you maybe start feeling a bit angry.
Oh no.
Because we had that conversation in the last couple sessions about how you've been turning to anger more.
You're more offensive.
I'm not saying that's what you do with your character. I'm saying that there's the deep well of anger there.
Okay.
What you do with it is up to you.
Well, there's no targets here right now, so
Unless you start killing random townsfolk, I guess.
Maybe don't.
So
I mean, I'm
Mirren.
not saying don't do that.
She's just gonna basically take off.
Okay, you start heading for the manor.
She's not gonna wait for like the kids to catch up or anything like that. She's just going straight ahead.
Stong's gonna like watch her leave, stupefied, and he's gonna gather up all the kids, and he's gonna say, "I don't think your Auntie Artemisia is okay. Let's just give her a moment to compose herself."
The kids are like, okay. And one of them says, "Are we gonna go see Mama?"
We'll see her in a bit. First, we're gonna take a trip to Auntie Mirren's,
Okay.
and she's gonna show you delightful magic tricks and feed you a treat, and then we'll see your mom later.
Auntie Marin is fun.
She is. Let's go.
Remember that one time that she made all the trees come to life and they moved around and danced? And then we lit them on fire? That was fun.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it. That sounds like a real good time. I wish I'd do that
Raising
rather
a
than like
bunch of little
adventuring.
arsonists.
When the two of you get to Dark Dance Manor, the gate is just finishing closing. As though someone had just gone inside or maybe just left.
So if Stong comes here pretty regularly, he would know like the password or something, right?
The gate forms that humanoid face and it looks up at Stong and it says, is today a tutoring day?
Hello. Not
Yes.
a tutoring day, but
Hello.
but we really need to speak to Mirren.
Right now.
The gate has
Please.
resting gate face.
Stong leans over to Artemisia. Oh no, here we go again.
Well, Artemisia's going to punch the gate face.
Hey, make an attack roll.
Strength bonus.
Good news is
Natural 20.
Wow.
Yes.
What? That's amazing!
Yes.
Good news is that the gate's AC really low.
Well, she rolled a natural 20.
Yeah,
With
so
her
you
6
do
strength.
double damage.
Yeah, let's see it.
So you do 2 damage instead of 1 damage. With your strength modifier added, which reduces it back to 1.
It was very impressive. The children definitely are terrified and more than a little impressed.
Sparks emerge from where you struck the gate. Like you had also shocking grasped or blasted it in some way. You weren't even aware of doing that, and it just spreads through the gate, and the gate goes, error, and it just
Why does everybody who I
ajar.
bring here destroy Mirren's place?
Mirabelle says, Auntie Artie, zap zap.
Auntie Artie, zap zap good.
Yep.
Let's go meet Mirren.
Going in.
Okay. So, all right. Do you want to continue with the Mirren scene, or do you want to cut back to Cecilia and Sarshan?
Go
Where's your
ahead.
flow, DM.
Yeah, whichever makes more
Okay,
sense.
you don't. All right.
No.
So we'll continue with the Mirren scene. So you get into the courtyard, where there are like burn marks and like marks of violence done to the ground in several places, including one small furrow that appears to have been hit by like a massive shovel or something. Unclear. But obviously there was some fighting that happened here. The doors,
Banging fighting. We were really
Yeah.
good at it.
right? The doors to the castle open, and Mirren appears in a blue dressing gown, barefoot, walks down the steps. And she's like, "Oh, hello.
Hello.
I was just coming out to offer them some lemonade, but I see you're here. Would you like some lemonade?"
Who?
I don't. It's not important. Anyway,
No.
Stong
it's
takes
real good.
lemonade
I
and gives
made
to
it
the
myself.
Kids. Stong gives kids some lemonade.
Already not in the mood for lemonade. I need a powerful spell. Warding. No. Something offensive. I need something powerful to do something about this. Not just
Artemisia,
stand by.
She touches your hand and takes your hand in hers, and she says, "You can calm yourself. It's okay. Just be patient. What do you need? I'm here to help you."
Is she able to calm herself? Is the anger still too?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Remember,
advantage.
you have advantage here. Or, well, it's a wisdom check. It's not really a saving throw. So you do have advantage.
Okay. 7 is better.
Okay. No, you are not able to call him.
Oh man.
And cost doesn't matter.
So
But
you
there's
pull
no
your
time
hand
to lose.
away, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, this is serious. Okay. Yeah, Mirren looks a little startled, and she's like, okay, come inside.
Going in.
She gives Stong a like, what the hell sort of look.
I give her an
And-
apologetic look, but yet like
Yeah.
shrug.
And she follows Artemisia up the stairs. Okay. So, yeah, Mirren's library living room is kind of a mess. There are lots of books all over the place. It looks like she's pulled an all-night reading session or something. And then she must have fallen asleep like on the floating earth moat, because there is a blanket there. Anyway.
If I had one, I'd sleep on it.
Yeah. And she says, what sort of spell are you looking for?
Something powerful, something to stop this.
Oh,
Something
okay.
to keep people safe, keep my sister safe, keep my servants safe. Just keep people safe.
All right. She puts out her hand like this, and a book flies off the shelf to her hand. And she says, some kind of protective spell is what you're looking for. Okay, sure. Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. Yeah. Are you sure you won't have any lemonade? I'm just saying.
Well, when do
There's sedatives in the lemonade.
yeah, when do I get to do another check?
You can do that now.
Okay. Advantage still, or was that only a one time?
You still have the advantage because you still have the effect on you.
Come on, dice, do better this time. Well, that's up to 12.
You really don't want to calm down.
Well,
I
my
have
dice
totally had those days. Artemisia, it's fine.
You feel a little better, in
Okay.
charge, in command, powerful. Still upset, but you're feeling like things are going the right direction. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Mirren says, "Oh, all right. So on Briar House, you want to disguise or protect or hide Briar House, is what you're saying."
Yes, that makes more sense than like just
All right.
blasting away at something I can't
She
find
opens
yet.
this book, and her hands are trembling a little bit, and then she's like, this spell right here, it's a pretty powerful one. I think this is what you want."
Okay.
It's similar to what I did on you, except on a larger scale. You remember the non-detection that I did on you? Huh.
It worked. My
Do you need me to do that again?
No.
Oh, okay. Are you in danger?
What? No. Well.
Stong nods from behind her.
There's a bit of peril, actually. Okay.
The
Says,
body
well,
looks like my sister. You have to understand that.
Okay. She looks at Stong like,
He nods from behind her.
okay. This is very, very important. We should go to Briar House and do this right away. Then yeah.
Yes, good. Right
Yeah.
away.
Just let me get some reagents. Oh, hold on. She knocks some stuff off of a desk because her hands are shaking. And she's like, okay, I can do this. No problem. No problem.
Stong would like to say, Mirren, would the children be safer here at your tower or back at Briar House after you cast the protections?
Oh, definitely a Briar House. Nothing will get in once I cast this spell.
Okay, then. Sounds good to me. Well, what do you say, kids? Sleep over at Auntie Artemisia's house?
Yay!
Excellent.
One of them's like, I want to play with Roomba.
Seems safe? Question mark.
Wear
Cared about
gloves.
safety. Like,
Hey,
it's
so
like
you,
I've experienced.
You all usher into a group and head to Briar House, where Mirren starts casting the spell. So, Stong, you and Artemisia have a moment where you can talk to her. Artemisia, everything is going to plan. Everything is going to be safe. Once the spell is active, everything should be fine.
Okay.
Did you put the kids inside Briar House?
Well, once the spell is cast.
Mirren says,
I have to do it before it's cast?
well, to make sure they're perfectly safe, you probably should.
Okay. I think he's
We're not
going to take the
be able to
kids
go in the
inside
house,
and
are we?
then go with him.
She's like, I don't know. I'm distracted because she's casting the spell.
Mm. Okay, so he goes with the kids inside, and he's careful to not show them Nala yet.
Well, Roomba's in the basement. Oh, the bow's in the
Don't go
basement.
down there.
Yeah. Keep away from all the dead
Yeah,
bodies
one of
for
the
now.
kids runs up to the basement door.
Oh, no. There's no
Roomba.
treats in there.
They can be in the
Roomba.
kitchen or something.
Roomba's
Yeah,
big.
they wait in the
Roomba
kitchen.
up.
I'll
Bring
bring
Roomba up.
Roomba
I'm sure
up.
Roomba wants to explore.
And
Yeah.
Varys and Charity are there. Charity's still crying. Or, well, has been crying recently. And Varys is stiff upper lipping it. And he's like, yes, you brought all these children. I shall keep them out of the rooms that they shouldn't go in.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Where's the
Oh.
mistress?
She's outside. They're casting a protection over this house for both you and the children and
Oh,
everybody
I
else.
see.
inside.
Well, as long as she thinks that's what's for the best. She does pay us quite handsomely.
Yes. I'm going to go try and...
Oh, by the way,
call-
this letter appeared for her. He hands you a letter.
Okay, I look at it. What does it say? Like,
Well,
what does it
it's
look like?
sealed.
Okay. Stahl would not open his friend's message, so he just pockets it. And he brings Roomba up for the kids, and he wants to try to calm Charity before he leaves.
Okay.
Is there like a roll of some sort I can make?
Charisma check of some kind.
Excellent.
Has Roomba been eating? Has his mass increased by about 180 pounds?
No, we put we
You
put,
put
a
him in a
bowl
bowl.
over him, so
Oh.
he's just going.
There's
Yeah.
up around the
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah, that's true. He could go
He
on.
screwed
I'd
the
bring
ball
him.
up and it's been
Well,
bumping up
okay,
against the body.
so he has Roomba has reshaped to be like the interior of the bowl. It's like a
Whoa.
bowl shaped
Like a
gelatinous
gumdrop.
cube.
But it's like Jello right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a gelatinous mold.
Oh my God.
We should find him some fun molds.
All right, so you bring Roomba
Jello
up.
salads.
Yeah, I rolled a 15 for the charisma check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Charity seems like she kind of listens to you and she nods and she says, "Oh, thank you. That does help. I'm glad you're here watching out for us."
Yeah, you could go spend some time with the children and Roomba. I'm sure they'll help you feel better. Bye. And then he runs outside to go to Artemisia, and then he hands her the letter.
Okay.
This came for you. I am now a coin lad. And he holds out his hand.
Yeah.
Artemisia has no time for jokes right now. She's just going to ignore him. You're going to open the letter.
The letter is from Marcelea.
Hmm.
And it says, "My dearest daughter, I have recently been the proud host of a most interesting guest who has made certain what would be the word that she would use? Who has made certain assertions regarding your situation in the city of Westgate, and I find him most compelling, and I should like to discuss these things with you at your earliest convenience."
Oh dear.
And you're reading this letter when Mirren goes, "There, done," and Briarhouse just vanishes.
Oh.
My children! Or, yeah.
Like there's an empty
Okay.
lot.
There's a crater.
And Mirren goes,
Where did it go?
"It's sequestered."
Everybody inside is okay, right?
Yes.
Mirren, if they're
Mirren.
not okay.
It should be fine.
How do we get them back?
We
Not much
we
you can
wait
say.
for the spell to end.
Which is when?
I'm gonna have to do some calculations. Magic is an imprecise science. Give me a second. I'll think about it. She starts counting like the components that she used. Meanwhile, Sturge, you have been fighting your way through guards for the last hour or so.
Oh my god, you must be exhausted.
Oh my god.
He was
Well, I mean, part of the time you're fighting, part of the time you're hiding, part of the time you're running.
okay. So he.
All of those sound exhausting.
So
As we've learned, this doesn't count as a rest.
he's also shouting things that he thinks the Twilight Knight would say. Like
Yeah. You have been leading them on a merry chase around the dock ward.
Okay. Well, he needs to get back to his horse and get to the arena.
Did you fully embrace the Twilight Knight aesthetic?
Oh yeah.
All right, so you're up on the rooftops of the dock ward,
Mhm.
and you're running around, and watch members are like they climb up on the ladders to try and get to you, and you just like
I got
magic yourself over to the next.
I got a jump spell now.
Yeah, no problem. You
Yeah.
just like, and the watch is like,
And every
they
time he
start
jumps, he
climbing
goes,
down again.
Twilight Knight!
And you land on the third building. You roll up to your feet, and you find yourself face to face with Shadowbane.
It's not really the Twilight Knight.
He swings his
It's
big
Sturge.
axe, his big black axe around.
Wait, but you knew that because it's daylight.
Oh, you dodge out of the way of the axe.
Good.
Everyone's a critic.
And he says, "You killed my apprentice."
Fix your face, Sturge.
Swings his axe at you again.
Yeah. Full defense.
What's your armor class?
17.
Oh, he definitely hit you.
Wait. I'm full defense. He has to be at disadvantage.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Hold on. Oh, you lucky asshole. All right, you managed to dodge out of the way of his axe again.
Okay, and now I'm just going to disengage and flee.
Okay.
You're not gonna go.
Not gonna drop the disguise. All right.
Well,
All right.
if I do, how do I convince him it's me and not just the Twilight Knight becoming Sturge?
Oh no.
Does the Twilight Knight
Make an
know
athletics check, please.
Oh.
I feel like one of those is
Shenanigans.
very
Sure it's
on
not an
brand for one of you.
acrobatics check. You're sure it's not an acrobatics check?
No, because you're basically trying to outdistance him.
Oh, well, I have Longstrider also.
Wow, you're built to run away. Amazing.
Yeah, these are the kinds of spells that Sturge likes now. Jumping, running.
Well, that will give you advantage on your check. So you can make your athletics check with advantage.
Okay.
That is a cool spell. All right.
Yeah, I know. Adds 10 to his move. Lasts like 10 minutes. Don't have
Yeah,
to
and between that and your cunning action, you are very mobile. Like that means you can move 80 feet around. Of course, Shadowbane also has cunning action.
Bastard.
And boots of striding and springing that increase his movement speed. So you're actually about the same speed.
Shit.
Wow.
I want those boots. Those are the best boots in the game.
Well,
God.
it's fine.
I just glimpsed the future where Sturge kills Shadowbane and steals
Because all of his items.
They're mine.
And then you pin it on the Twilight Knight.
All right. So what'd you get on your athletics check?
15.
Okay. You leap. And you're leaping to the building. You're like, haha. And then Shadowbane appears leaping behind you, a little faster. And he tackles you, and you both crash down onto the rooftop,
God,
rolling
did you hear me?
sideways.
It's Sturge. It's Sturge, you moron.
And then he comes up. He doesn't have the axe. He must have dropped the axe. So he puts out his hand, and Vindicator, which is the silver glowing sword, appears in his hand. And he says, "You will not kill another person in this city."
You idiot. I
your face!
am Sturge.
Drop the disguise. Drop the
Drop the
disguise.
disguise.
I grab his hand and put it on my nose.
So here he comes with the sword.
He's not.
And you ready in
thinking about
action to grab
other
his hand.
though, right?
And then there's this moment of stillness. The two figures standing upon the rooftop together.
One holding the other's nose.
One holding the other's nose.
If you swing that axe to cut off my nose, I'm going to be pissed.
And then his sword lowers.
That was very anime ninjas up until that point.
And you're standing there a little bit awkwardly.
Okay, I'm going to drop the disguise now.
He's still holding your nose.
Yeah.
He's still holding your nose. He says,
This is getting a little awkward.
we will never, ever discuss this ever again.
Well, you won't find me advertising it. So, you know, we were looking for you. We wanted to talk to you. Can you accompany me to the arena?
Let's go up your nose.
Oh, sorry.
We were thinking of
Let's hire a carriage. We need to talk.
How romantic. He
It's
pulls
the
his helmet
least
off.
you can offer me after holding my nose in that way.
Well, you spent all your coin on those leaflets, didn't you?
Oh, did you want to hear my limerick?
The gods have frowned upon me this day. All right, you hire a carriage and you head to the arena. Right. So back to Cecilia and Sargent.
No, you have to hear my limerick.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
It's the best I could come up with on the fly. You know, in time for the printer.
Don't down talk it now.
You know,
insisted
during
on
the
giving
hour
it
when
to
you were
us.
running and hiding the guards, yeah.
There once was a Weasley ghoul who killed mostly children at school. He hadn't the balls to fight anyone tall. For the Twinight's a cow-hearted tool. What do you think?
Caitlin stares at you silently for a second.
Again, it's the best I could come up with in time for the printer. Anyway, that's not what most of the poster says.
Twilight, that's what you call him?
Rogar came up with
Constructive
that.
criticism.
Of course, Rogar came up with that.
Yeah.
I like it. It's well, he's a raging narcissist, so it would probably work.
Yeah.
You're going to get yourself killed.
I'll tell you what. There's no reason not to put all my money on me. Because if I'm dead, who cares if I lose my money? But if I win, that's a lot of money.
He leans back in his seat and he says,
Makes sense.
"All right."
And
And he
I'm
pulls out a coin, which happens to be a gold coin. And he says, "I will put this on you." And he hands that to you.
We were more wondering whether you might be able to help.
Of course.
Excellent. How would you like to?
Not with the limericks. I'm terrible at limericks.
No, don't worry.
Have you heard me try to tell a joke?
No, I get
Well,
that.
good, because you're not going to today.
Oh, darn it.
Oh, speaking of jokes, I do have another one. Why did the queen slap the smiling fortune teller?
Why?
Because she told her to strike a happy medium.
Shame on you.
I'm going to die too.
Meanwhile,
right.
Cecilia and Sargent.
Meanwhile, Cecilia and
So
Sargent.
it's like, wait a second. Somebody just told a really bad pun.
Pun alert.
Why did you
Great
have to steal
disturbance
for
in
a
the
living,
force.
Sturge?
Because thousands of people have groaned.
Okay,
I was
so
saving that for hideous laughter spell. But,
Sargent has been running for some time now, and Cecilia is getting a little tired of this.
I'm about ready to give up and just go home.
But he stops abruptly, and you realize that you are standing in front of the Silks at Dawn.
Why are you stopping here?
That's the shop Artemisia runs.
Oh
No.
Oh no.
Oh no. shoot.
This is where it's coming from.
Where what's coming from?
The smell.
Is Artemisia in there? Or what? Is this
It-
where wait, did you find some of the blood?
This place does smell like Artemisia. He turns back into a
Open
man.
the door.
Although when he turned into a wolf, like his clothes fell off. Like they
Oh, I'm
didn't
serious.
merge with his body.
Okay. Did I see that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
So
picked his
he's
clothes
standing
up,
there mostly. Well,
and I'm
he's
just gonna be like
rising up.
Sarton, and hand him his clothes.
Okay. He drapes his cloak around himself.
Other
Right.
bits have to be covered as well.
He tries the door. It appears to be locked.
I hit it with my battle axe.
Okay. You don't
sister's
even need to
store.
roll. You just splinter the door open.
We should have like a little ticker in the upper corner every time we break a door or a window, because like at least once an episode we're blasting a door, breaking a door.
Shattering a statue.
I am full of dread and anger.
Okie dokie. Yeah, inside the room is dark. Nobody's here. It appears to be closed. But you can smell it now too, Cecilia. You smell the smell of slightly aged blood,
Okay. We're going
and
looking
the
for where
air
that's
is
coming from.
humid and thick
Also
with
gross.
this stench.
Okay.
Okay, so you head into the room.
Yes, and I'm gonna be like, Sergeant, but come with me.
Your eyes adjust to the darkness. Sarshan looks at you. His eyes are kind of glittering in the dark, and he growls low, even though he is an elf again, not a wolf. I mean, he's kind of always an elf and a wolf.
We'll deal with that another time. Okay, so we're creeping into the Silks at dawn.
Yep.
Do we see anything?
Well, in point of fact, you see somebody sitting on one of the divans where people sip tea and lounge about and talk about fashion and gossip of the day. And Sarshan looks at it and he's an elf again, not a wolf, but you can practically see all of his hairs standing up.
I am going
And he
to
growls.
cautiously approach.
Okay. There, with your eyes having adjusted to dark vision, you see a woman lounging there on the divan, with her hand kind of idly cast back, and she's holding some kind of fruit, like a round fruit of some kind,
Okay.
that's trailing juices down her wrist and
Gross.
forearm.
Those are not gonna be juices, are they?
Well, and you see that she is wearing a very distinctive flower dress that is one of Artemisia's dresses.
Oh, like this?
And she is also wearing a half mask that looks kind of like it looks like Artemisia's bronze wolf mask.
Does it look like Artemisia?
It does look like Artemisia.
Oh no.
For a second, you're like, but when you lift the mask, or if you don't, Sarshan comes and does so.
Okay, I would do that because
Okay.
I want to know.
It is not Artemisia. It is someone who looks vaguely familiar, like maybe works in the shop. But her hair is sort of styled like Artemisia's, although crudely, obviously, by
Ew.
somebody who doesn't have much talent.
The Twilight Knight, I can just see it.
Not a good hairdresser.
Yeah,
Gonna
and
say-
the mask has a number of stars carved into it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say a bunch of curse words. I won't say them for real because somebody spent them all.
Sergeant growls in agreement with each of them.
This is and I feel very confident that this is the Twilight Knight and the Night Masks, if only because I am very focused in my rage. And it is rage. Like Cecilia is whatever grief she is feeling, she's subsuming it all into real pissed offness. But she is going to take a moment to kind of reposition the woman so she's lying down, so she's not in this mockery of Artemisia, because on both levels, this is really insulting.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she is going to detail how she's going to turn the Twilight Knight into rose fertilizer as she does this. But I will spare everybody the gross details.
Yep. Sarshan nods along in agreement. At some points, you get the sense that he might want to offer a suggestion, but he does not. He just.
Well, that means he has, an intelligence of more than 10. So
Emotional intelligence. When you are done with your long recitation of tortures and death, Sarshan says, "Will you allow me to aid you?"
Will you put some pants on?
I will. He heads to the nearest mannequin. Puts those pants on and says, "We are agreed."
Yeah, let's go back to Briar House.
Yes.
And maybe we should also tell the watch someone broke in here and killed someone, because she doesn't deserve to just sit in here like this, but we are not carrying a dead body through the streets.
And not us.
Mm-mm. So we go out
I mean,
and find...
we broke in here.
Okay, but you know what? I think he can take the rap for breaking the door, too. I'm okay with that.
That seems fair.
So we find some, kid and give them a coin to go get the watch, and then mosey back to Briar House.
Okay. So over the course of time, I think everyone ends up back at Briar House. Sturge, I know you were headed to the arena to do a thing.
Just to tell them, make way tomorrow night for at twilight, at dusk.
You're spreading around the pamphlets.
Well, I'm doing that, but I'm also letting them know that at the arena to clear the schedule, because tomorrow night's going to be the fight of the century.
It's like, we're going to show up and we're going to kill a guy. So be ready.
Yeah.
There's a big fight that day, so there are a lot of people there, and you spread those pamphlets.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm going to need you to do is make me a performance check, please, and then we are going to go briefly to Caliph because she has some unfinished business.
Okay.
Well, if they're headed back to Briar House, she wants to just off the way see if they can stealthily paint he fools on a couple of
Caliph is doing some subtle graffiti. Yes. Okay.
I rolled a 19 and I have a 9 bonus on that.
Wow.
Dang.
So it's a
Nice.
28.
So
what's the Rome's equivalent of a Tony? Sorry.
This is what happens. You show up with Kaelin Dren, okay, who is not super well known in Westgate, so it's not like people recognize him as just a person. But they recognize you, and many people turn their eyes to you as you appear, and they're whispering. They're like, "Oh, that's Sturge. Oh, that's the Sturge-nosed scoundrel." No, that's a disrespectful way to refer to him. But his real name is like Crabin or something. Oh, you're right. Anyway, and you start spreading around your pamphlets, and eventually you attract more attention than the fight itself.
Oh,
Nice.
Everyone is looking at you, and Kaelin is standing there like, "This is making me uncomfortable, Deuce."
all right. So prestidigitates his voice big and says,
Oh no.
"Tomorrow night." And he turns to the guys in the ring at this moment and says, "Sorry about this, but
They're
tomorrow
like, no,
night."
we like the breather, honestly.
Yeah.
Second wind,
You've heard of the Twilight Knight. He is a craven and a fool. And tomorrow night, here at dusk, he meets the Westgate Irregulars and his fate before your eyes for your entertainment. Be here or miss the fight of the century.
So there's a silence, and then the crowd erupts in cheers, and people are shouting, "Sturge, Sturge," and "Irregulars, Irregulars." Because it's not
Urge
really a
the
word that
original.
makes a lot of sense with the chant.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fine.
No. So yeah, he just throws the papers up, lets people scramble for them, and in that moment, vanishes.
Halen is standing there and he's like, oh,
Kyle.
shit. And he disappears into the crowd. Well, he throws the rest of the pamphlets down into the arena itself, and then he disappears into the crowd.
Oh, dude, there's nobody down. Oh, whatever.
Well, people start swarming down to get
Oh,
at the
okay,
pamphlets and
good.
such. So,
Good. It'll be
right.
on all the broadsheets tomorrow.
Caliph, you wanted to have a conversation with Aiden, I believe.
Oh yeah, just like really quickly, like when Rogar is distracted or something, she's just gonna like go up to him and be like, "Hey, these didn't work." She's gonna hand him finger bones.
Oh, right. He just puts those in an interior pocket of his coat.
Gotta try something else.
Okay. I actually had he looks at Rogar. Rogar is maybe you're looking out the window at this gathering of people and you're like, they're probably looking at a dead body. And Aiden attempts to be stealthy in handing Caliph a thing.
Is there a way to aid him in being stealthy?
So, Randy, remind me what Rogar's passive perception is.
Well, it's 17. But I'm pretty distracted anyway. I'm like very much.
So we'll give Aiden advantage against you. Okay. All right. The first roll was a 3, and the second roll is a 14.
Much better.
So you do notice him handing a small package, like a small leather parcel to Caliph.
All right.
Obviously trying to be a little surreptitious, but like he's not very good at it.
If Caliph notices that Rogar noticed, she's just gonna bat her eyes in Aiden, so it'll look like a lover's token or something. That was
All right, Kay, let's make an insight check.
An insight check?
Yeah. Rogar, what is your passive deception?
Passive deception.
Yeah. So 10 plus your modifier.
For deception?
Yeah.
Is +2.
Unless you're trying to hide the fact that you saw them.
So 12.
Okay. So what'd you get, Emily?
Natural 20.
Whoa, nice.
So you can tell that Rogar saw you. And you bat your eyes at him.
Or
At Aiden. Yeah.
At Aiden. Okay. So you're not really sure what just happened there, Rogar. Maybe he handed her, like a lover's token. You don't know.
Aye. Okay. My thoughts are, yeah. I'm feeling pretty terrible about all this stuff because I feel like if I'd just gone with Shadowbane's suggestion and gone after the Twilight Knight or something earlier on, or I'm starting to do that whole Rogar thing where he starts to think everything's his fault. So that's where my head's at.
Starts to blame himself.
Aye.
Okay, make a wisdom check.
Oh, okay. 3.
Oh.
Plus
Retire
4, so
that
7.
dice.
7.
Throw that die away.
You feel a faint warmth of light upon you.
Aye.
As though someone were sitting across from you in the carriage, much like Aiden and Caliph are sitting across from each other.
Aye.
But when you look up, there's no one there.
Okay.
All right, you get back to Briarhouse. Everyone arrives at Briarhouse before Sturge does. Sturge, you're coming back from the arena on a high. Like this worked out really well. You attracted a lot of attention. People were very supportive. And then you get back to Briarhouse where all the irregulars are standing outside looking at an empty lot. And Mirren says, so I'm pretty sure I made the duration for at least a 10-day.
Was
Where
there
are we
enough
supposed
food inside that house for a 10?
Stong is gonna do a sending to Charity, and he's gonna say, Charity, everybody okay inside? Is there enough food for a 10-day?
Oh, is the last
If
resort.
you need help of any sort, send back to me and we'll try really hard to help.
I mean, worst
Okay.
case, there's a body in the basement. I mean,
Last
things get
resort.
Oh my
desperate.
god!
Last resort.
I'm going to need you to roll percentage dice for me, please.
Okay.
Or you could just roll a d20 if you prefer.
Also, where's
Oh,
my
right.
sandwich?
17.
It's in the house.
17, okay.
The sandwich is in the house.
Dang it!
Sorry, sincerely, I forget.
Also, where's my sandwich? In the house. No. Okay.
It's getting worse.
You rolled a 17. Okay. So shortly thereafter, a message returns to you, somewhat garbled, and says, this is Charity. I'm not sure what just happened, but we're fine. We have a lot of food and a lot of beer.
That's gonna help.
How long are we in this place? It's very strange. And then it just cuts off.
I'm not going to use another sending spell. No, Stong would use another sending spell. So he's just going to send and then tell her the details, but then tell her that it'll be okay.
I wonder what's outside the windows there.
Okay. The
Remember all the
reply,
details.
the reply is, it's very misty here and we're not really sure what's around. The kids want to go exploring, but we told them not to.
Oh, God.
So right now, Varys is reading to them. So please get us back as soon as possible.
I tell the other regulars conversation that we had, and I shoot Mirren the biggest side eye while I tell them. Emphasize very soon.
So Kaelin came back with Sturge. So Kaelin and Mirren are both there. This is the first time you've seen them actually interact with each other, but they're currently talking with each other while you were having your own conversation.
We all discussed what we found whilst running around the city.
Yeah, more or less.
Okay,
I see
so
we all share our details.
that's 7. Where's number 8? Because there was no Stong.
Oh.
Yeah. No me.
So
Finally, Kaelin lets out a kind of exasperated breath, and he says, "All right,
No, that was it.
Sir Glear, I will go, and I will meet you later." And then he walks off, and Mirren looks a little sad.
We'll be here at Mirren's.
Mirren says, "Well, that went well." I'm not sure when exactly it'll get back. I think they're in a demiplane, but I'm not sure where. You see, I have this problem with my memory, and I must have set up a demiplane for this kind of spell, but I don't remember doing that. So, did she say it was safe?
She said it was safe, but
Well,
it was
that's good.
misty.
That's less good.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't trust misty things really.
Misty Step.
Oh no,
rude.
that's a great spell.
Thank you.
If anybody tells you different, they are lying. Mirren says, "Well, I guess since I banished your home to a demiplane, you better come stay at my tower."
Okay.
Okay.
Guess we better do that.
Aye.
Good news is I made lemonade. Bad news is the kids probably burned the garden down by now.
The kids are in the house though.
Oh, that's true. Ha! Silver lining.
lighting. I'd rather the kids be somewhere where we know they're safe.
Is
Let's go get that lemonade. Okay.
is Artemisia still like really angry?
I don't know. It's up to you. It's been a while. It took her like a good 10-15 minutes to cast the spell.
Okay. Well, I obviously we don't have time to do it, but I'm just considering if Cecilia would say anything about her stepmother, Artemisia might like stride off to like figure out what's going on with what's in the letter. But if Cecilia isn't going to mention it, like Artemisia is just going to like put the letter aside for now and not worry about it. So
I think Cecilia will want to find another Confederate to run this by, because she is very torn between, are you going to then go, oh, Marsley is okay because Lilton likes her, or are you going to be on her side and go, this is shifty? So we need to make sure that you go, this is shifty.
So you're going to need to talk to somebody about that. All right, but that will have to be next time.
Yeah, so she'll tuck the letter aside and go to Marin's.
So our next adventure, we'll see this battle with the Twilight Knight, whose massive ego will not allow him to overlook the slight on his character and honor. Even though he has no honor, he does have a certain amount of pride, and he plans to put Cravengleer's nose back into his head. So come check us out on our own channel, twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers. May 13 is our first episode, and it's going to be this massive battle against an enemy that's been haunting the Irregulars since the very beginning.
Right.
Thank you, audience. I'm going to pass it around to everyone else.
Thank you to our sponsors, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Check them out, idlechampions.com.
Thank you to our moderators. Tonight, that would be Shay, Snowy Wolf, and Seldring.
Yeah, a special thank you to GenConTV. Even though that this is our last night with them, they've been really great sponsors and they've been really good to us. So be sure to check them out and check out their content. They do all kinds of game, tabletop, board game, etc. related stuff. Somebody should be posting a schedule soon. Also, a special shout out to Chaldea Studios.
And thank you to our guru, Marcus Mays, who's been fantastic handling all of the tech. Gonna miss you, man. Thank you.
Thank you to all of us for watching, and come check us out on our new channel.
Yep. And be sure to check out our website, www.dungeonscrawlers.com, for information on the players, characters, and all of the exciting news about things coming on our new channel, etc. So,
right on.
Thanks, everyone. You've been great. Come watch the continuing adventure on our new channel.
All right.
Bye.